Oh my god, I had the audio muted on YouTube. I'm so sorry. What up, Final Boss? How you doing, man? Good morning. Good morning. Muted on YouTube. I think I had everything muted. Thank you guys for calling that out. How we doing this morning? Yo, we got 8 people already on YouTube. What's good? What's good? Good morning. How we doing? Good morning, Final Boss. Good morning, L Muns. There we go. Hello, hello. Yeah, everything should be working now. So I tried a new thing this morning, guys, where I actually scheduled a YouTube stream, which is cool. So you could, I don't know if any of you guys actually saw it pop up, but essentially what I'm going to do now for the podcast is a couple hours before, or maybe even the day before, I'll actually schedule the YouTube stream so that it will pop up. You can hang out in the room and wait for me to go live, and then I'll go live right at the set time. So the plan for today is, guys, and I said this before, but I'll say this again. So the podcast is at 11 a.m. So in about 50 minutes, guys, we'll be jumping on with Jazzarus. And so until then, we're just gonna hang out and do some chill PoE 1 gaming. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. And of course, hanging out with you guys, chatting. Stoked for the podcast. Excited for Jazzarus. Dude, me too. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually been a long time coming. Yeah. So, fun fact about Jazzarus, and I will talk about this in pod. But Jazzarus was the first person to ever react to one of my videos. So, I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Great. If you're working, hope your work's going well. If you're hanging out at home, hope that's going well. Is there a way to lock my cursor to this window? I feel like that would be nice. Let me look that up. All right, let's just do some maps. Let's do a few maps. Both of these are pretty sketch. Oh, we have a conservatory that we haven't done yet. I think this should be fine. Oh, I actually need to look at how to automate my flasks. Instilling orb and glass blower's bauble. Okay, I need those. Wait, I have those. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I'm here.
We need more of those.
Watch your back.
Can I craft on this? No, you can't. Oh, wait. Wait, you can do this. Okay. I need to figure out how to get more of these. It's best to use with charge generation flask, like gain on hit or crit. Oh, really? Okay. Because that's what I have here. I have gain 1 charge when you're hit by an enemy. Excuse me. It's not bad. There is a vendor recipe for more of these enkindling orbs. Trigger gem.
Greetings. Hello.
Godslayer.
Okay, so all of them are worth 1 alchemy. We do have an alchemy.
Hail Godslayer.
It's okay. Gain 3 hit on hit is T1. Yeah, I'm not going to be getting that for a while, I don't think. But we can automate this one as well. So we'll only have to click number 4. And then we'll work on automating that one as well. I don't love this flask though. Let's see if we can get another one. Oh, this is the only one I have. Okay. Let's alt spam this a little bit then. Life leech during this effect. What do we need? So we have immunity to bleed. If I hit this with an alteration, will this get rid of the automation thing that I've done? No. Okay, nice. Only the rolls. Okay, got it. 7% movement speed. %44 increased armor. Yo, that's good. Okay. We'll keep this for straight armor maxed. I may have one of these already. No.
Hail Godslayer.
Hmm. Oh, do you need 5 glass? Oh, you need 5. Fuck. What's the recipe? How do I cook these up? Oh, okay. Flasks with quality. I think I have a few of those.
Hail God.
Fuck, dude. I only have 2. This won't be enough. I need 20% to get another one. That's all right. We need to farm up a bit more then.
Hail.
Mm. Oh shit, level 85, boys. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, boys. Oh, nice. We need this too badly. We need to do more harvest. Dapper, what's up, my boy? How we doing? Dude, we're winning, bro. I'm really excited for Friday, dude. How you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good morning. Yo, King Tater with a 3-stream streak. What a legend. What a die-hard legend. Thank you for tuning in. 3 streams in a row. That's pretty hard to do considering I don't stream that much. Okay, so I think we want to go into more max LE resistances. Tell me something good. And then I think for that, I think we need blue. We need blue juice. How can anyone not be having a good morning? The guy named Blazeworks is streaming right now. Oh, what a sweetheart. What an absolute sweetheart. You know how to make me blush. Maybe the players of New World, not so much. Dude, I saw the article today, Tater. I saw that. I actually can't believe that the game lasted this long. That being dead. Kind of seems like it was a long time coming. What do you guys think? Man, how come sometimes like you do these areas and like they don't really drop any juice? Dude, I played the shit out of New World when it came out. It was so fun until you get to like the journey from getting from level 1 to max level was probably one of my favorite MMO like leveling journeys. It was incredible. I played the shit out of New World when it came out. And then you get to max level and you're kind of like what, there's nothing going on here, you know? There's nothing going on here. Okay, immune to lightning damage. We can do that. We don't do any ailments, so we can do that. And then over here, I guess. Harvest was a pain in the ass. Was or is? Oh, we need some Lego blocks. Oh. Not today. Yo, rod crafting in PoE 1 is actually insane. I feel like I'm just discovering all this crazy shit. And then you're kind of like, yo, why doesn't PoE 2 do this? PoE 2 player discovers actual good endgame. Yeah, this guy can't even touch me with this flask. The one thing I didn't do lastly. Well, guess what you can say both because you don't know what's what about Harvest. How does it differ from PoE 2's version? That's one thing I didn't do last league. Are you talking about Harvest, Dapper, that you didn't do? Oh, nice. And we got the point. Oh, rod crafting. So, yeah, it's completely different. So with rod crafting, there's very much a like push and pull with your crafting. So it's like remove stuff, add stuff, improve stuff marginally. Like it's kind of more like playing with how many mods are on an item, where the rod crafting in PoE 1, from what I understand, is more about like improving the existing item by re-rolling it like a bunch of times. So it'll be like re-roll the amount of sockets that are on this item 100 times and then choose the best outcome, or re-roll all of your prefix modifiers and then choose the best outcome. And it's like, you know, it's cool that there's like this element of like in rolling things an amount of times and then choosing the best outcome versus like we're just going to replace a modifier with another modifier in PoE 2 and like we don't give a fuck about the best outcome. It's just like you just got to take whatever outcome you get. Yeah, definitely more focused on like crafting, especially in the early game for SSF. Like it's actually kind of sick. Although I haven't been able to find scrap metal, which is like the thing you can use to re-roll like his window very much. Whoa. I think this is an upgrade, boys. I think this is actually just a straight up upgrade.
Go with courage.
And then I could put... Oh, I don't have the extra physical damage reduction rolls on that. Fuck. But 11% to all resistances. And then I could put another resistance on this, but I don't have chaos orbs, so I'm going to need to get some.
Greet.
God Slayer.
We did get one, though. Bro, the ghost dog is sick. Dude, the ghost dog was made for you, specifically. Ghost dog is fire.
God Slayer.
It does that thing where dogs wipe their ass on the ground. No way, it does the butt. It does the butt thing. That's amazing, dude. That is actually amazing. Oh, almost as amazing as coffee is, dude. Holy shit. Coffee's so good. Okay, so we can use these blocks to refresh what she's got. And then we got a couple things here. I feel like I could replace... We could try this. Whoa, 171 max life?
Go well.
Tier 2 strength, tier 2 max life. I feel like that's got to be pretty decent little base here. I don't know what to do with it.
God Slayer. Good day.
Yeah, from what I've been told, Dapper, like SSF is like... Oh my god, do not say that, Muns. Coffee tastes like burnt sadness rolled in bitter dirt. That's because you're drinking bad coffee, son. That's the only reason why your coffee tastes like that. Your coffee that you're buying and drinking is bad. Cheers to that, though. Oh my god, no. If your coffee tastes like burnt sadness rolled into bitter dirt, that means it's a coffee you're drinking probably from a place called Tim Hortons in Canada. I mean, never had a real cup of Joe. So you've only had fake cups of Joe? That's okay. One sec, guys. Oh yeah, you're a coffee addict. Okay. But do you drink like espresso? Like what's your coffee of choice? I don't drink coffee. First time I tried it back in the day, I broke it in hives. Whoa, okay, yeah, maybe you have an allergy to it. Can definitely understand that. If you have an allergy to it, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Okay, let's do... Oh, shit, we have a promenade, and we haven't actually completed that yet. 20% monster damage. let's jump in here and see how fucky this is, and if it's really bad, we'll back the fuck out. I'm a Pepsi or Rockstar kind of caffeine. No, that's fair, bro. Everyone's got their own flavor of caffeine that they enjoy. I don't judge. I've never been much of an energy drink guy, but I do love soda pop. Not to be confused with soda pop in the streamer. Okay, we're vibing in here so far. My girlfriend got a free banger coffee machine from work. I make espressos and cafe cremas, whatever that option means on our machine. Oh, okay. So is it like an espresso? Like where you just like put in a pod and you like click the button? Or is it like actually like you have to put in like grinded coffee beans and like actually make it from like scratch? Oh, nice. Okay. That's sick. I want that. I have a $20 Black & Decker drip coffee machine that I got on Amazon. But I buy really nice beans. So you think I love coffee so much, but the way I consume it is like I buy really nice beans from like a company that I really enjoy, a local Canadian company. I've been going to them for years, and then I chuck it into a fucking absolute peasantry coffee maker, and the outcome is still pretty good. The beans are what matter most. That's what I'm saying. Like, essentially, at the end of the day, all a drip coffee maker does is boil water and pour that water over your coffee beans. That's it. Now, it can be done in like different fancy ways and stuff. Wait, did I kill the boss? Yeah, it can be done in like different ways, and different techniques, but essentially at the end of the day, that's all you're doing. Yeah, you definitely don't need what you have, but that's sick that she got it and it was free, right? So why not? Oh, here's the boss here. Oh, yo, this guy hits. This guy's hitting, and he's got more health too. Okay, he's dead. Okay, this ball is absolutely crazy. Jesus Christ. Wait, did I not complete Promenade?
Hello. I was no go with courage.
Coral Ruins. Oh shit, okay. Do we have any tier 9s? I don't really know what all this stuff means about capturing bosses. We do have a vault. Oh, it's for the Pantheon thing. Got you. So if I capture a boss, not a boss, if I capture a boss, it actually upgrades one of these Pantheon things. Oh, let's see here. Capture Katava. I got you. That's super cool. I love the art, like the art style here is really cool. This would make like a sick poster, like this art without the circles on it. I'd buy that 100%. Oh, if you catch all three, you get the buffs. Oh, so the buffs actually stack. So if I have the brine king and then I have all three of the things, I could actually just have all of it. Reduce chill effect, avoid being frozen 100%, and stun blocker. That's crazy. That's fucking nuts. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of armor.
God Slayer.
Glacier map. Oh, we haven't done glacier map yet. The bleeding one will be really good. Yes, I have that one on. I have this one on. The moving while bleeding does cause you to not take extra damage. You have to use a divine vessel in the device. Okay, yeah, I've been saving those. I have two. I have two of those. So you make the boss stronger, but then you capture it for the Pantheon. That's what I understand. I think we can do this. Chilled ground. Is chilled ground as toxic as PoE 2's chilled ground? Nah, okay, sick. Ooh, a little chaos orb, yo. Oh my fucking god, what is that? Dude, you know me and my hideouts. I don't mess with them. Unless a little special somebody's got a hideout for your boy. In which case, I'm more than happy to accept that. Dude, I tried to import your hideout from PoE 2 into this game, but it didn't work. Badly. Okay, it's specifically a PoE 2 hideout. I just used the showcase site. True. Dapper made me a sick hideout, and I actually get a ton of compliments whenever I play PoE 2 on it. So I'm always saying thank you to you if you're not here. Oh, you have a few hideouts up on that site. Yeah, well, send me your favorite one, bro. Dude, I honestly should do that because I'm such a like visual person too. I just feel like every time I play this game, I'm just like playing the game and not just like chilling in the hideout. But I bet you I could go ape on a really fucking sick hideout too. %, magic monsters. Oh, okay. Never against treasure. Yeah, that's totally fair. It's kind of just like a vibe thing. Like you can just vibe out and fucking rip some hideout chilling, or not rip hideout chilling, but just decorate your hideout and have fun. Which is very cool. The amount of customization you can do is actually amazing as well. And then it encourages people, it's kind of genius, and then it encourages people to spend money if they want to like decorate their hideout even more, which is super cool for GGG. Man, I need to see my boy Rog in the maps. Where the fuck is my boy Rog? What are these? Totem life armor. Totems reflect their maximum life fire damage.
Hail God.
Socketed gems have no reservation. What the fuck? Excuse me. A hideout for Blazeworks. What a fucking god. Oh, that's looking cool. MTX, yo, go plant a bush. What's good, bro? How you doing? Okay, so what if we imported that? You're good? How about yourself? Dude, I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking. Oh, I see. Okay, so go to Lily. Oh no, go to Helena. Go to. Oh shit! Go plant a bush with a follow. Thank you so much, dude. Oh fuck! I haven't done this. I haven't done this fucking hideout yet. All right, let's go there and.
Greetings.
Oh, if you love Dr. Evil, we got some crazy channel point thing. Cyclone, what's up, dude? Okay, so I guess I should probably go to Act 5 and unlock this. Wait, where did it say it was?
God Slayer.
Hello.
Act 5. The Ruined Square. Here. Okay. So if I go here and run around, I should find it somewhere. Finish your league starter? Hell yeah, dude. Feel free to share it in the chat if you want to share your POB or anything. Take a look. Not that I know what I'm looking at, but... Bottom corner, left or right? All the way south and east. Okay. But am I getting baited? It's not this, is it? No. Oh, this is a set layout. Okay. That explains why it's so confusing. Damn, this guy just dropped a link to his website. Let's take a look here. Oh, okay. So, okay, I got you. Sorry for being in white mode, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how to change that. Oh, not the pink. I know. Wait, let me take a look at it. Not that pink. Oh, the one area above. Okay. Thank you. How many set layouts are in the game? Are a lot of them random or are a lot of them set? Bottom corner, here we go.
The blackguards will until next time. Shall we?
84 set layouts in the game. Wow. That's a lot. Oh, I was like, how the fuck did you know that, bro? I was like, how did you know that so quickly and Cyclone didn't? That's crazy. Clear? Wait, there's got to be like one dude in here. Oh, yeah. Yes, boys, we got it. Oh, plant a bush. I have a build guide that I'm using. I will share that with you. I have like if you want the specific build, the very specific build. There's plenty of choices here for this build, but I will share this with you. Drop it in the chat for you, brother. There you go. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so talk to you, select hideout, do this. Oh, why are you guys all so close to me? Oh shit, boys. Look at this. Yo, look at this rug. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh shit, we got Katava's head over here? What? Dude, this is sick. Fuck yeah. What's up here? We just got some people vibing up here. Bro, up here at the butt crack of dawn. You know we're up here at the butt crack of dawn. Whoever posted that video you linked has a 24p drift card. Oh, dude, this guy is like a insanely good speedrunner on Path of Exile. Like, he's fucking crazy. I just discovered it recently from a friend of mine. But yeah, okay. He's cracked. So yeah, definitely give him a follow.
Happy hunting.
Hail Godslayer.
I'm Exile's dope as fuck. Yeah, I've learned a lot from watching his videos. I've been playing PoE 2 for about 2 months now, and I'm hooked. Yo, nice. Yo, PoE 2 is a lot of fun, man. What are you playing? What build are you playing? Whoa. What do we got going on here? All the bow skills? Hell yeah. Mana Forge Deadeye. Yo, this is looking crazy, Cyclone. Fuck yeah. Nine different bow skills, crazy. Gotta take a look at this later. I was a Fisher Totem Warrior, but got super frustrated, so I tried to make a new character last week as a Ranger Bow Lightning build. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the Fisher Warriors, the visual clarity is really hard with the Fissures. Like, you can't really see what you're doing. I was able to do a T14 gray map, so anything harder, I just insta-die. True. It sounds like maybe, you know, we could have... So what I like to do here, I'm not knowledgeable about PoE 1. I'm very much, like, learning about PoE 1 right now, but with PoE 2, I can definitely, like, help you take a look at your build, maybe see what you can improve on if you want to get some help with that. Kind of sounds like your defenses may have been a little not up to par for the map you were doing. Oh, that'd be cool. I moved most of my armor to my bow guy. Oh, no, you're chilling, man. Yeah, if you ever hit a wall, just if you see me online. Also, I have a Discord here if you want to pull up. Keep in touch. You can share your build in there, and there's lots of helpful and friendly people in the community that would, I'm sure, take a look for you. So we could gamble a little bit. If you're playing hardcore, I think a shield is probably really good. Also, like, low key, actually not so low key, but like shield, wall, fortify, and cry is insanely strong. I would definitely look up a build maybe that involves that. And yeah, I would try that. It's super good, and you get the survivability of like using a shield. It's so good. Yeah, it's crazy.
Maybe I'll just shuffle these around and tell you they're different.
Excuse me. You joined the Discord? Let's go. I use shield wall and fortify and cry on an Amazon build where I use that helmet that makes you not able to use body armor. Oh my god. That's crazy. Dude, I used it with constricting command in hardcore, and bro, it was so fucking good on a mercenary. I did mercenary, shield wall, fortify, and cry with constricting command, and like I didn't get the character like fully online, but man, it was good. Okay. All right, guys, Jazzers is ready. We're gonna hop on a call with him. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna use the washroom, grab a drink before we start. Give me 30 seconds, BRB. Okay. Glad I found the stream. Y'all are cool as fuck. Oh, dude. Yeah, the community's awesome, man. You can run rampant while I'm here, too. All good. What up? What up, Chair Bear? How you doing, baby? All right, guys. Pop this open here. Let's exit out of Path of Exile. Turn off the music. I feel a little rusty, boys. Oh, sorry, dude. I just swapped scenes, and no surprise, I have all of the alerts and TTS turned off on the podcast scene because people would just fucking troll me all day. 100% they would. Okay, you can go do it again. Or I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. Hell yeah. Okay. Dude, I don't want your channel points to go to waste. Jazzarus. Good morning? Oh, hold on. Hold on one sec. Testing. I had you coming out of my monitor speakers for some reason. For some reason, Discord decided that that was the best way for me to hear you, was out of my monitor. All right, bro. Fire up that webcam. Let's see your beautiful face.
Properly. Can you see me? I think you can.
Yep. Yep, that works.
What? Why did I get mirror? What the fuck is this? Oh yes.
That always happens with this shit for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, you will have me mirror.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Do you want me to crop in a bit so I can get rid of your music overlay? Yeah, let's just do that.
I can take it out. I can take it out.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it this way. I don't want you to have to mess with your stuff too much.
There you have it. Don't worry about it.
The sound is desynced unless you fix it in post. Really? Is it desynced? Can you say a few things for us, Jazzarus?
Yo. Testing the sound. We are here with Blaze. We are going to do it. We are not afraid. I am coming out of the flu. That is why I wasn't uploading videos, but we are here. We are back. We are going to do it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, dude. Yo, he sounds good on my end, guys. Even though he was sick. You're sounding good.
Okay.
I'm just worried that it's desynced. Yo, what up, Drake? Fine for me, I'm pretty sure. Okay. It looks fine for me as well. Yo, you got me fucking stressed out, protagonist, with this desync shit. Fine on YouTube. Okay, we're just gonna fucking send it. Yeah, all right. Yo, how are you doing today, buddy? Are you feeling all right? You ready for this?
I am ready, dude. This is fucking awesome. Thank you for inviting me, dude.
Of course. Yo, how long have you been sick for?
Almost a week. I am honestly not sure if it was COVID or not because it hit me like a truck. But I am like recovering now. I am still like a throat sore. My throat is sore and my eyes sore, but I am way better. The weekend it was insane.
Oh no, dude, that sucks. A simple audio realignment in post should be easy. Yeah, it's Blaze's mic that's slightly desynced. Hold on. This has never happened. Hey, Carbon, how you doing, man? Welcome in, bro. Glad he's better now. Me too. Me too. Yeah, that fucking sucks. COVID could have been COVID.
And thank God it happened before the league, because imagine being sick for the league started. It's fucked up.
Your body knew. It was like, hey, we need to get sick right now so that by Friday I'm good. Both fine for me. Okay. We'll take a look at the video later. Maybe in the recording, it'll be fine. Usually, like, there's a little bit of stream delay for some people, but we'll see. All right, I got the questions open up. Okay, one sec here. Mhm. All right, episode 25 questions. All right, we're gonna do the cheesy YouTube intro and get started. Do a little countdown and hit record. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Passive Tree Podcast, a podcast dedicated to talking about life, Path of Exile 2, and everything in between. And today, on episode 25, we are joined by a fellow PoE creator, streamer, and yapper extraordinaire. Give a warm welcome to Jazzarus. How the heck are you doing? And welcome on, my friend.
Hey, hi, Blaze. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is awesome. I've been following the podcast for a while, and I am really grateful and excited to be here. Everything is awesome. Everything is great. And yes, let's do it, dude.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. I know it's kind of been a long time coming. But yeah, I wanted to start off the podcast with a little bit of a sentimental note because I wanted to tell you and the rest of the people listening that you were the first person that actually ever reacted to one of my YouTube videos. So I'm a super new content creator. I just started this year. I did a video that got a little bit of traction about talking about PoE 1 and PoE 2. And it was cool. I looked up my notifications and I saw, oh, yo, this guy Jazzarus had reacted to my video, and so I watched it, and it was really entertaining. And then I've been following you ever since, man.
Hey, dude, thank you so much. I didn't know I didn't know that I was the first one, but knowing it is awesome. I honestly feel cool, feel special about it. To be honest, it is cool because hey, dude, you are growing fast, and I will forever have the honor to be the first guy that reacted, right? And I remember the video. It was a video when you tried PoE 1. And I feel a little bad about it because I remember that I hammered on that you didn't have as much of a good experience because you went solo self-found. And you are going to try it again solo self-found this league, right? I am sorry, dude. But hey, you know that I still try to be positive. I always am. And I was a little bit familiar with your thing because I still watch you off stream on my own time. At that point, I already knew your videos.
Yeah, no, you had a really good point. I mean, so here's the thing. That video got a lot of feedback from a lot of different people. Darth Microtransaction just reacted to it like a few weeks ago. So there was another 100,000 people that ended up watching it on his channel, which is amazing. And yeah, like I think the solo self-found angle definitely was like good feedback. I am so torn, bro, on playing SSF or playing like trade, like because of the new async trade that's coming in to PoE 1 on Friday. Like I'm going hardcore for sure, but I just don't know what to do now. What are you thinking? Should I log into the trade now? Do you stand by your SSF or don't do SSF take?
I think you should go trade because first of all, asynchronous trading is awesome. And a lot of people that have always played hardcore in Path of Exile 1 are excited for hardcore this league because it will be like in PoE 2 that if you die, you get transferred to a standard. So a lot of people that even that play softcore are going to try hardcore just because if they die, it doesn't matter. So I think the economy for hardcore is going to possibly be healthy and we will have a lot of people interacting with it. I would go hardcore trade if I were you.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to. It's tough because I've been playing HCSSF for like 1,000 hours in PoE 2, and I really enjoy like that way to engage with the game. And I do think that regardless of like how it may have impacted my experience the first time playing the game, it teaches you a lot about how to play the game properly and engage with all of these different mechanics. And I'm going back in with like build guides and resources and stuff now, and dude, it's so much better playing PoE 1. Actually having that's like the main thing that I feel like I finally understand now, where people are like, oh, you went in blind, that's cool, but like everyone says do this way, and I get it now. It's a completely different game.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I understand because honestly, I play Path of Exile 2 that way, that I just vibe it. let's play the game. I pick my class that I do the wheel. I spin the wheel to decide my league starter. I did it this league for Path of Exile 1 and I got the Juggernaut. I have to league start a Juggernaut. But in Path of Exile 2, let's say that this league I got the Ritualist. I just pick the class, I start playing, and I vibe it, and I go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens because the game allows for it. But in Path of Exile 1, I don't have that knowledge. The game is way more complicated. There is a lot of stuff that I don't know. So what did I do? Look up for a league starter for the Juggernaut. Let's play a guy that a dude that already knows about this made, and now you have less cognitive load and you can learn other stuff because your build is figured out and you go and learn one system by one system, right? I think that is the best way to start playing Path of Exile 1. Not trying to learn everything at the same time because it is a lot, but if you go one step by one step, then it is not only more manageable, but it is also fun. Like discovering the game for the first time, learning all the systems is cool, it's fun.
I totally agree. Yeah, and it's bad. Like I can see why people thought that I followed a build guide because what happened was when I went into PoE 1 blind for the first time, the way that I selected my character was so I played in PoE 2, my first ever class as a warrior. And on that warrior, I used Sunder and I used Resonating Shield. So I used Resonating Shield, banging that fucking shield, breaking people's armor, and then slamming that Sunder for the crit that it used to do. It used to always crit on broken armor. And so when I went into PoE 1, I was like, yo, I'm going to go Marauder. That's basically warrior. And then I want to try Sunder to see the differences. Little did I know, Drazarus, that Sunder is like a meta fucking leveling skill. And so I chuck that bitch in. I throw that bitch into my fucking armor, that skill gem, and it's just slapping everything. And I'm like, okay, like this feels amazing. And then everyone's like, are you sure you didn't look something up? I'm like, dude, I just fell into this skill because I wanted to see its differences between PoE 1 and PoE 2. And there are so many skills that just feel like better in PoE 1 than PoE 2. Sure.
I totally get it, and I am sure because of all the other variables from your video that it is basically obvious you didn't follow a guide because it was like you set up to not follow guides but to do it your way, and it is not, Isabel. And yes, Sunder in PoE 1 feels so different. Like you don't have to do the whole winding up for 4 days to do the ability. Yeah. I also did Sunder, by the way, in my very first playthrough in Path of Exile 2. I did Rolling a Slam to break armor and Sunder to consume the broken armor. Yeah. And the Marauder in PoE 1, I when people ask me what class should they start as a beginner in Path of Exile 1, I recommend the Marauder because it is tanky, it hits hard, and it is straightforward. So it was a good choice too, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think I lucked out pretty hard, and it was like almost uncanny how how good of a choice I just made, which was totally random. Well, not random. It was like based on my PoE 2 choices. But yo, I wanted to ask you, kind of in light of you being the first person that's reacted to my video, and you do a lot of these react videos. So I just wanted to ask you, like, with your mix of your own content and react videos, what do you particularly love about doing that format, watching videos, and kind of doing your commentary on top of it?
I will be entirely honest with you. Mm-hmm. I set up for myself a goal of uploading a video a day. Yeah. And the reason why I react a lot is because coming up with an idea for a video every single day is not easy. So I mix it up. Sometimes I have an idea for a video and I do it. And when I don't have an idea, I react to a video. That is what I do, to be honest with you. But at the same time, sometimes there are videos like yours with the PoE 1 that you feel this is a must-watch video because this will allow me to yap about the stuff that I want to talk about, but I don't have enough to make a video. And we yap in little segments throughout the reaction. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, I feel like if you have the goal of a video a day, doing that and having your own concept for every single video, like not even Talkative Try can do, and he's a machine. He's a content machine. Exactly. Not even the great Talkative Try can do a video a day on his own, his own stuff. That's just, a lot. So no, you do it well too, where it's like, I'm sure your community can tune in and maybe they don't follow some of these people that you're watching and that you're reacting to. And so I think that's the beauty of React content that I really like is like you're actually exposing people to other people's content, which is cool. Like I'm sure some people who watched you talk about my video maybe came and checked out some of my stuff, and then it kind of creates this beautiful like ripple effect, which is cool. And then they get your like funny takes on top of it, which is sick as well.
Yeah. I try obviously to always link up the video and do the tag for the person so that they get the notification and they know that I am doing it, because if they like it, they can comment. If they don't like it, they can comment, but that they know that this is happening, you know. And also sometimes I have to, something that is like a running meme in my community when I react is that I pause a lot and I yap a lot. So a 10-minute video can become a 40-minute video. Sometimes I have to restrict myself from yapping that much. But at the same time, it is cool because they can't accuse me of not being transformative with the content.
100%. Okay, so you said you've been doing this goal of like a video every day, basically, which is quite a like a serious goal to do. I just wanted to ask you, like, when did you start YouTube and like content creation? And what was like the inspiration for like starting your channel? Was there a specific game that you were playing? And a sort of a secondary question, did you have that goal at the very beginning of your YouTube journey as well, the one video a day goal?
Okay, I am going to yap a bit to answer this one because it is long-winded.
Mm-hmm.
So check this out.
Okay.
I am from Venezuela, right? I am living in Colombia, but I am originally from Venezuela. When I decided I wanted to make a YouTube channel, I lived in Venezuela.
Chat, are we still here? I think he may have froze. Or did my internet go out? We lost. Oh no, we lost. Oh no. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna fix this. Jazz froze. Yeah, he is very frozen. Let me message him. Damn. He he touched us.
I think that I think my Discord fucked up.
Okay, let's oh, you're back. Okay, you're back. We had a great message in chat saying that you touched a strong box and forgot to put on your freezing charm.
I don't know what happened.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's returned, but he touched a strong box again. Oh no, dude. I just want to make sure that my internet is still good. Guys, everybody still hear me? Are we still here? Strong box reactivate. Okay, chat is moving. You can hear me. Okay. Let's restart. Okay, let's restart the call.
Yo,
I can hear you.
okay, dude, first Discord disconnected me and I could hear you.
That's so
and
weird.
Then you could hear me and I couldn't hear you.
What the hell? Discord, why are you griefing us? Okay, we're just trying to have a friendly chat here, guys. Okay, so what I asked was sort of like your before we got rudely interrupted by Discord was when did you start making content? What game was it for? And did you always have this like kind of intense content goal?
Okay, I am originally from Venezuela, but I live in Colombia right now. I decided to create a YouTube channel when I was living in Venezuela. Venezuela is a country that is destroyed. It sucks because of the government. So earning money in there is hard. You work the whole day and you don't earn shit. So honestly, my goal when I decided to have a YouTube channel was to make money. I am completely honest because I said, well, you do YouTube, you can earn in dollars, which is better than to earn whatever you earn in Venezuela. So I am going to try to do it. And at that point, I don't even remember who I was watching because I decided to do it like in 2016. It was a long time ago. But I am a chronic procrastinator and I never actually started a channel because you always say, I will start tomorrow. I will start tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of years passed by and I actually started like in 2023. Like I had the idea of different YouTube channels, you know. Like originally the idea wasn't to do what I am doing right now because I just wanted to do YouTube and there were different ideas in there. And then I decided to start with Marvel Snap. When I started, I believe it was 2023, because I watch a lot of Queen that plays Path of Exile, and he said in one stream that if you want to grow fast, you should pick a game that is coming out that doesn't have many people creating content, and do it. And I have always played a lot of card games, and Marvel Snap was coming out. I had access to like the beta or something, and I said, well, this is my moment, and I started just like to not procrastinate more. That is basically what I said. This is the moment. I have to stop procrastinating. Let's start with this, and then we will see what happens. And everything went fine for a time, but Marvel Snap is a gacha bullshit. The game is fun, but it has all this gacha monetization bullshit that I fucking hate. So I moved on, and I started playing. Well, I played on my own, but I started making content for WoW and Diablo 4. By playing Diablo 4, people always tell you Path of Exile is cool. And I had wanted to play Path of Exile for a long time, because since I play card games, I used to follow a Creeparian, and he plays Path of Exile since 2013, something like that. But the barrier of entry, you know how Path of Exile is. I always bounce back. And when they announce Path of Exile 2, I say, okay, this is my moment to go in it, you know. And that is how I got into Path of Exile 2. I got in love with the game, and I completely changed my whole channel to be the Path of Exile. And regarding the one video a day, when I started creating content, I don't know if it is particularly because of my videos, but I didn't think I am going to upload one video a day. I was trying stuff out, and I realized that the first 24 hours is when I get traction. And if I don't upload for 2, 3, 4 days, the channel completely dies down for those days. And I just wanted to keep the engaging all the time, you know, 24/7, and with one video a day you accomplish that.
Okay, that's super cool. So started with Marvel Snap, and I admire and appreciate the honesty about just like, yo, I want to make money. Like, I need to make money. I know that a lot of creators have like the same story. Like, I think I remember hearing Asmongold talk about that, where he was just like, yo, I need to like pay for my new teeth, and like I'm playing games, and here's a thing that I can do to make money, right? Like, it is a thing. And you can kind of tell though that like, aside from like obviously one of those goals being like, you know, making some passive income and stuff like that, like I feel like you actually really love to make content too. Like, there's no way you would do all of this without having like this passion for it as well. So I wanted to just also probably highlight that like I can see that you have a passion for it as well, which is pretty cool to see as well.
I do. I like it. I like a lot engaging with the community, reading chat, talking with chat. Like in real life, I always been like, I am not that extroverted if I don't know people, but when I actually know people, then you have the clown that you have on videos, right? So my whole life I've been like that, like talking shit and yapping and trying to be funny or whatever. And yes, it is fun. I like it because this is a way of doing that without having to necessarily be in a social context and all of this bullshit. You just turn the camera and you yap and you do it, and you have people coming in the chat and talk about cool stuff, you know, and it is fun. It is honestly fun. I sometimes think that I should be a just chatting streamer instead of being trying to do something else.
I mean, you kind of are. It's like you're just chatting, but like in the context of like whatever game you're playing as well, which is, it's like kind of the best of both worlds, right? Yeah. So let's rewind a bit, because I haven't actually like talked to too many people. I mean, you're the first person on the podcast that's actually been from like Venezuela or South America just in general. So I wanted to ask you sort of like, what were you playing on video game wise as a kid in Venezuela? What was sort of like your first thing, console, PC? Give me the story on that.
Okay, when I was a kid, Venezuela was still not fucked up. It was pretty cool, honestly. So I had a Nintendo, the NES, when I was a kid. I played a lot of the original Mario, Mortal Kombat 1, Galaxy, Star Force, which is not Star Fox. Star Force is a little...
Yes.
I don't remember the name of the little tanks, but you have like a yellow tank, and if you play 2 players, it was a blue tank, the other one, and you break the things with you break the bricks with the shot. That one was a really good one. So that was my very first console, and it was fun. It was awesome. After that, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, which was the next one, but then my mom got me a PlayStation 1, and that was the one that actually changed my fucking life. The first game that blew my mind, and I said this shit is awesome, was Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation 1. That game was insane. I still think to this day that game changed the world, because I don't know if you remember, but at that point games were not that cinematic. It was more like the gaming experience. And Metal Gear Solid 1 introduced like this whole story, and they put the cinematics and the voice acting, and it is like you are playing an action movie, and it was, dude, and it touches deep topics that I was like 10 years old when I played that, and it was insane. I don't know how they let me play that, but hey, they did. It was cool. And after that, after the PlayStation 1, I got my first PC. It was a Pentium 4, I believe so. I played a lot of StarCraft, Age of Empires, and Warcraft 3. And after that, I just stuck with PC forever, because PC is just better than consoles.
Yes, sir. Yo, it's crazy how many good like real-time strategy games there were back in the day. Like I was playing all the same shit too, like StarCraft, Warcraft 3, Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, like the list goes
Yeah.
on, right? Like there's so many bangers. And now I've talked about this on the podcast before, but it just feels like that genre is like basically standing over its grave right now, because there hasn't been any like innovation or like new games that's come out for it, and it's just like, I don't know, it's lost sort of the magic that it had when we were like kids. Why do you think that is?
I think that for the gamer of today, the RTS genre is too much load on your brain. You know, you have to be constantly going blam 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 blam. The keyboard, the mouse, the mind, the eyes. There is no break. You know, and it is 10, 15, 20 minutes of just 100%. The cores on your brain are going 100% all the time, and people want to relax, you know. Maybe when we were younger, first of all, we were not that meta gamers. We played more for fun, and if we sucked, who cares?
Yes.
And also, we were also younger, and we were focusing more on the games. But now you go to work, you have your family, you sneak at 1 a.m. when the kids are sleeping to try to play some games. You don't want to be locked in 100%. You want to wind down and just hold down your mouse, and your character does one skill and blows the whole screen up, you know, without doing anything. So I think that the RTS genre is just the people move forward. There are people that have tried to revive it. For example, there was a game recently called Stormgate, which is a pretty good game, but people don't want the genre anymore, dude. And I think it is because of that. Also, people like low-key, people like team games, like MOBAs like Dora or Counter-Strike, because they can blame other people. When you play 1v1 and you lose, you have no one to blame. People don't like that. If you are playing 5v5 and you lose, you can say that your team sucks, and you don't want to assume responsibility.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been in the trenches of those MOBA games. And it's funny because I think you're absolutely right. We've kind of shifted this like into this gaming ecosystem where everything's so like min-maxed all the time. And back in the day when we were kids, we were all dog shit. And so we were playing the game. We didn't have any YouTube videos to follow, build guides to follow, and we were just like, I'm gonna make a tank and send it across the map, and then I'm gonna see what happens. And that's basically how we engage with real-time strategy games. Of course, we improved over time and learned how to maybe do a few hotkeys and stuff like that, but it was a different vibe, or like you weren't worried about what your APM was, what your build order was, what the other person's build order might be. Like there's a different kind of perspective that's changed, and we now find ourselves in a ecosystem, and this goes beyond RTS or MOBAs, or it goes into every game where we're so focused on what's efficient, what's optimized, and we kind of almost like sacrifice fun a little bit. It kind of feels like we're like, if you're not doing the most perfect strategies all the time, you're like bad and you're not playing the game right. What do you think about all that?
I completely agree with you, man, and I feel it in Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2, of course, because I like in all my games. Talking again back to what you are saying, I always have like playing after the prominence of the meta gaming online. I always like playing off meta stuff. Yes, I am a hipster. I don't want to play what everybody is playing, you know. But there are like degrees of metaness, right? Sometimes you are playing off meta, but you are still very viable, and sometimes off meta just sucks, and that is what is happening in PoE2. But that is an entire different conversation. Talking about the meta gaming in general, I completely agree that the internet has brought to prominence metagaming in everything. I understand that it is part of the human psychology. We have metagames for everything. Even chess has metagame, basketball has a metagame, right? So it is obvious that this is going to happen, but gaming has turned a lot like that. And at this point, I think that the cat is out of the bag and we are never going back. This is just the future, and we have to accept it, because I understand it too. It is like, if I could be doing something better, why the fuck am I doing something worse? Like, am I stupid? you know? So I understand why people follow the meta game. And yes, I think it is going to continue to happen. As a developer, I think the only thing you can do is try to cycle it, so that not everything, not all the time, the number one thing is always the number one thing, and you cycle it so that people have different experiences throughout time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. I've kind of fallen into a little bit of like a hipster trend myself for this particular league in 0.3, because this is the league, and we should preface in Path of Exile too. This was the league where I felt like I was actually ready and able to like actually make my own builds. And it is a lot easier to make your own builds in Path of Exile 2 right now, because there's like less ascendancies, less classes, less weapons and stuff like that, less skills as well. So it feels like the options that you have available to you are like way more minimal than Path of Exile 1. And there are like certain combinations of things. So but yeah, I feel like with that knowledge that I have now, I was able to make like a cool ice shot Deadeye build. That was like my build that I started off the league with, and it was super fun to just like play around. It was Deadeye, so it was like obviously still really really fucking good, but it wasn't like lightning arrow and lightning rod. And it just, even having that sort of distinction between not using like the absolute craziness of that versus ice shot, it was just fun. And it kind of inspired me to like feel like trying all this other stuff that isn't necessarily top tier, but still, what can I do to push content with like off meta classes? And it is a new way to engage with the game that is fun. And I encourage, if you guys are listening to this and like are burning yourself out in PoE too quickly, try playing off meta builds, try playing ethical builds, like see how you do with like dog shit builds. And I guarantee it's a good time.
I agree with that entirely. In fact, I did it this league because it is fun trying to figure out something, right? And by the way, fuck the Deadeye. All my homies hate the Deadeye. But for example, I did a strength stacking leech where I use the Iron Grasp body armor, the Crown of Ice helmet, and what this combo does is that the Iron Grasp makes it so that your projectiles and your spell damage, your strength scales your projectile damage and your spell damage, and then the Crown of Ice makes it so that your spell damage applies to attacks. Mm-hmm. And then I use the Molten Blast, which is an attack projectile, and you get all those benefits. I use a gem that, a timeless fuel gem that makes it so that strength gives you energy shield. And then I use in the tree, when you go to the left side to the warrior tree, there is a part where strength gives you accuracy. And then I anointed my amulet with the thing on the other side that gives you that accuracy, gives you attack speed. So strength was giving me energy shield, projectile, spell, attack speed, and accuracy. And I stacked over 1k strength, and it was fucking awesome.
Yo, that's cool.
So
hell yeah.
All that to say that I didn't come up with that in one day. You go with it a little by little, and it is fun figuring out all those things. What else can I do? What else can I get from my strength? How can I get more strength? So figuring out your stuff is pretty fun. So I do encourage people, as you were saying, to go off meta to try to figure the node build. I understand that you can feel a little behind because you are not being as efficient and as fast as the guy that is doing the die. Maybe you can do your die and farm a little bit of currency, and then you try crazy stuff on an alt if you wish. So, but yes, going off meta is fun in its own way. You know you are handicapping yourself, but you also know that you are trying different stuff, and that is fun in its own way.
Definitely. So speaking of off meta and doing things for fun in their own way, I tuned into your stream I think a few weeks ago, and you were doing hardcore solo Cellfound, and you were doing it on a punching character. And then, you know, a few weeks later, I saw a clip on IMEC or the Exiled Again stream of you like breaking your chair and shit. That was amazing. So yeah, tell me a little bit about your hardcore solo Cellfound journey, and you know, how all that made you feel. How was it?
It was awesome, honestly. Playing that way makes you like the adrenaline is pumping because you can die at any moment, and if you die, you are done, right? It is not the same feeling that you get in softcore that okay, you don't want to die and you still get punished if you die, but it is not the same. You can just go again, right? At the same point that you are. Maybe a little behind if you lost the map and you lost a little bit of experience, but you can just continue. With hardcore, the whole run is done. And specifically with the challenge, it was even worse because I really, really wanted to do the challenge. I will probably try again in the future. Because how awesome would it be to just complete the whole fucking campaign just using the basic punch and no hollow palm, because hollow palm would be cheating because it makes you attack a quarter staff. It can be a quarter staff. It has to be the punch. So it was awesome. Like to, I don't know, like the name implies it, a challenge for myself. I want to prove to myself that I can beat this shit just by punching, that it is not damage, but you're doing the mechanics, dodging the bosses. And yes, I didn't dodge the slam. In fact, I rolled into the fucking slam. Fuck! I am still mad. I didn't break my chair, by the way. The chair just broke because I am fat as fuck. But I didn't break it because I died. I have to clarify that. The chair was breaking a little by little throughout the days because I am fat. And that day with all the standing up and down, it got fuck. And I just had to fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
By the way, I died because, okay, I dodged into the slam, but I wanted to dodge the other way. And I couldn't dodge that way because the two little motherfuckers were there and they didn't let me go through, and I went the other way. Also, rewatching the clip, I think I got confused because he went red, right? And I said, oh, he went red, he's going to slam. But he didn't do the slam right away. He did the one where he goes around and then slams. So I rolled at the wrong moment, basically, because I thought he was going to slam right away and he didn't. That I think also could have fucked me over. But it was honestly the journey there was still fun. You can go and watch my videos that I have for the challenge. I beat Count Geonor just punching him in the face. Yaman Ra just punching him in the face. And these are bosses that people get stuck at, like the first. Obviously, when you are good with the game, you just blast. But there are people that go in there and die 10, 15, 20 times to these bosses, and you do it hardcore solo Cellfound with only punch. It is a 15-minute fight, but it is awesome.
Yeah, and you're like locked in the whole time, and like your potions are dropping down. Did you have to use like checkpoint resets a lot, or like reset boss fights sometimes when you were playing, or did you also have that rule in place where you're like, I'm not gonna cheese the game at all as well?
No, I could use the checkpoint, and I did use it a couple of times, but I didn't use it a lot.
Okay.
Like, since I am not, normally I don't play a lot of hardcore, I don't have that wire, that press escape quickly to go and checkpoint, right?
Yeah.
I don't have it that hard wire because I don't play hardcore that much. But I did have it in mind in case something crazy happened. And there were a couple of sticky situations that I got surrounded by a lot of mobs. I think I didn't use it on bosses. I use it more when mapping. If I get surrounded and I am out of stuff and I think I am going to die, just reset this bad boy.
That's fair. Yeah, and of course, guys, we'll be leaving links to Jazzerus's channels in the description. So if you want to go check out his hardcore solo self-found punching run, definitely check it out. The ending was pretty funny. So to kind of elaborate on the checkpoint skip stuff, and I've been talking about this on a few of the last episodes, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, do you think that they should remove that from hardcore, or do you think that it is a fine thing to have for hardcore? What are your thoughts on that?
Like, I don't think the majority of hardcore players would be mad if they remove it because they are, well, you are a hardcore player. You want the hardcore experience. But at the same time, I think it is fine if it is there. I don't think. I know that Forsen was mocking Queen because of using it. That was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Queen did the Forsen wrong, which is no escape allowed. I don't think it is a big deal, dude. You need something because of exactly what happened to Forsen. You are sprinting, a mob knocks you down, and you are done. Your hardcore run is over. Nah, man, that is fucked up. You need a way to get out of there.
100%. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, would I be mad if they took it out? No. Do I like having pause in the game? Absolutely. Like, you're playing hardcore or softcore, having pause is an incredible feature. Your dog's barking at the door, you need to go see who's there. Like, pause. It's beautiful. It feels a little cheesy sometimes, absolutely, but like that cheesiness is like a mechanic that exists, and it's a tool in your like hardcore toolkit, and it is something you have to exercise and get better at. Like, as you just mentioned, when you start playing hardcore, your body and your body isn't used to like moving your hand to escape quickly when you like are like in an oh fuck moment, and so you have to develop that muscle memory, you know what I mean, to even be able to do that. But yeah, and it's a thing that people have been doing from PoE 1, like where like you have a logout macro and you just hit that as soon as you get into like a dicey situation. Like, it's been a thing for a while, and I wouldn't be mad if it was gone, but I'm kind of happy that it's here because I'm going to use it.
Also, there is the difference between, of course, pause is awesome, just being able to pause, but also maybe you can pause, but you can't respawn at checkpoint, or I don't know. But I think it is fine like it is. But these are like two separate things. There are people that don't want that. They are fine with you pausing, but not with you respawning. You know that you have to see what you are doing. But then it goes into the whole what happens if you close the game, because that is how they do it in PoE 1. They have a macro to completely close the game or to log out. What happens then? You log in and you are back in the same place. There is more stuff to figure out in there. But I don't think it is fine like it is.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think what happens is that and I'm guilty of this sometimes. I'm trying to do better, Jazzerus, is I play people who play like hardcore and hardcore solo self-found. There's a bit of like an elitist mentality where you're like think you're better than softcore players, and I'm trying to advocate to not think like this, and I'm trying to do better at myself. But then there's this other whole separate ecosystem of hardcore players and like ultra hardcore players that are like, oh, if you're using the checkpoint reset on hardcore, you're fucking bad and all this type of shit. And it's like nobody wins in this whole situation. Like, we all just need to accept, play the game whichever way you want to play, whatever way you have fun playing. Who fucking cares at the end of the day?
Thank you. It is a game, man. It is a game. And yes, we do want challenges to test ourselves. And yes, it is true. Playing hardcore is harder, but at the same time, we have to remember that we are doing it for fun, right? And again, I did the challenge with the punch because it is hard, and I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And I didn't do it, but I will eventually.
We need
But
season 2 of the punch challenge.
Yeah. At the same time, it is fun doing it. And I did it because I wanted to have fun. And I am not going to say, oh, you are playing hardcore solo self-found using a weapon. You suck. You shouldn't be using a weapon. It is like, it is just
you
play
should
the game.
say that. You
fun.
should say that. Go into people's channels and say that. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. I wanted to talk to you just about action RPGs in general. So you mentioned that you kind of transitioned from Marvel Snap to playing like Diablo 4 and stuff like that. Did you ever end up trying any ARPGs before like D4, like maybe Diablo 2 or stuff like that when you were a kid?
Yeah. I played Diablo 2 a lot when I was a kid. A teenager. And I played a little bit of Diablo 3. I didn't play Diablo 3 Endgame. I only went through the campaign. But that was basically my experience with it. Oh, I played a lot of Torchlight 1 and Torchlight 2.
Mhm.
I didn't play Torchlight 3, and I haven't played Infinite, which is the one that is right now. It is too anime for me. And yes, I like anime, I have manga, but I don't know why I don't like anime in my fucking games, dude. I think it is fucked up. So I don't like, I haven't played Torchlight Infinite because of that. But
Mhm.
Torchlight 2 is fucking awesome, dude. Torchlight 2 is awesome. So those were the ARPGs that I played before, and I like them a lot. Obviously, Diablo 2 is like the best one out of them. You always remember that one. It is also similar to how I talked about Metal Gear Solid earlier. Diablo 2 was that experience too. Cinematic experience. You are following the story during the campaign. It is dark as fuck, and when you are a kid, you are like, "What the fuck? This is awesome! I am going to kill the devil, motherfucker!" You know,
For
it is
sure.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I got a comment on one of my videos the other day that was like, "Who fucking cares about stories in ARPGs?" And it made me think about it, and I was like, the story of Diablo was like one of the most impactful like story games that I played when I was like a young kid, like, following the Wanderer and like, Marius fucking up and like pulling the soul stone out of Bale's fucking head and shit. And I was like, man, like the story of an RPG can be really impactful for people on a first time playthrough. Like you kind of want to experience that. And I really love how after you play the first playthrough and experience the story, then you can skip everything and just get to the blasting, get to the item hunting and stuff like that. But I do think that a story is pretty impactful. What do you think are some other like ARPGs that have like really good stories? Like, do you think that PoE 2 has a good story compared to D2?
I sometimes go back and forth with my own community because of this, because I always say, okay, Path of Exile is a better game right now. Okay, we agree with that. But I still think the lore in Diablo is better. I just like the angels versus demon aesthetic, maybe topic, theme, whatever. I like that more than whatever is going on in Path of Exile. That being said, Path of Exile 2 story is really fucking good. When you don't think about all the world building or universe, but just think self-contained in the campaign, Path of Exile 2 campaign is really fucking good. I love it. So Diablo 4 campaign is pretty good, but it has a lot of plot holes. I even have videos talking about the plot holes that are
Mhm.
in the Diablo 4 campaign. In the PoE 2 campaign, there is also one plot hole, which is the Third Halani Gate. You can look it up. The caravan shouldn't have gone through the Halani Gate because the thing was broken, and then you decide how the fuck did the caravan go through. But okay, it doesn't matter. In Diablo 4, there are several plot holes. So yes, in whole the lore, I like the Diablo lore more, but self-contained in the campaign in the game, I like the Path of Exile 2 more. Now the Path of Exile 1 campaign sucks dick in my opinion. I don't like it at all, and I blast through it. In Path of Exile 2, I went even through all the dialogue lines with all the characters because it is fucking awesome. And they did something awesome this patch in 0.3, which is uh, it only happens in Act 4, but I hope they go back and they do it in the previous acts, which is that now your character talks with the NPCs. So depending on your class and ascendancy, your character says different things. So it also spices it up depending with every playthrough, your character says something different, and that is fucking cool.
That is super cool. No, I totally agree. There is something about the Diablo. It's like the quintessential good versus evil. It's a story that's been told time and time again. That we got hell, we got heaven, we got us in the middle, and we're kind of in this like, this classic battleground of like, god, angels and demons and all this type of shit. Like everybody knows that story, and that's why I feel like the Diablo lore, the Diablo story, just hits so hard for people. It's because we're just so familiar with that. And not to say that like it doesn't compare to Path of Exile at all, but we just don't have that familiarity as much. Like, of course, there is still good and evil and stuff like that in Path of Exile, but it's not as relatable as the classic angels and demons type stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah. And originally it was more black and white. That is another fault that Diablo 4 has, that they try to uh, make it more of a gray scale with, oh, maybe Lilith is good, maybe Inarius is bad. But originally in Diablo 2, it was like, these are fucking demons, they suck, we have to kill them, and that is it. And that was cool. It was simple.
Yeah, for sure. And then all of the characters along the way kind of just like accentuated that story. You know, I think Marius is like one of the more like obviously most interesting characters because you're kind of following his journey, and like it kind of showcases that like mortals and humans can have such a huge impact on the actual like outcome of this battle between angels and demons, which is cool. And then yeah, Diablo 4, it was kind of like they tried to switch up the formula a little bit. I still think that the campaign in Diablo 4 was probably its best like feature. But yeah, I don't think that many have come close to the Diablo 2 one. And I think it could be nostalgia. It could be that it's just simply awesome and stands the test of time. Who knows?
I think it is both things. I think that nostalgia plays a role, but after you play it again, for example, with Resurrected, that they did all the cinematics again, it was
Beautiful.
awesome, man. Like it is still you feel it like, and it is dark, it is heavy. I love it when Marius does the storm and Tyrell says to him, "Fool! You
Yeah.
don't know what you have put in motion today." That was fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I think it is. I think Diablo 2 has probably the best campaign in any ARPG so far, and followed by Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4 probably. I think Diablo 3 sucks dick. The campaign sucks. The only cool thing about Diablo 3 is that you go to heaven, but everything else sucks. And I don't even know what the fuck is going on in PoE1. I know I know a little bit, but not a lot, you know. PoE1 campaign has only two cool moments: when you fight Malachi in Act 4 and when you fight Kitaba in Act 10. Outside of that, I don't care.
Those boss fights are pretty badass. But yeah, no, I know
Yeah,
what you mean. Diablo 3 was like, it was bad because we had waited so long to play Diablo 3. Like it was like a 10-year gap. It's always like a 10-year gap between Diablo games. So we probably won't see Diablo 5 until like 2033 or some shit like that. But you wait 10 years after playing Diablo 2, and then you get this storyline. And in Act 1, this like butterfly kills Deckard Cain, and you're like, oh, like that's what we're doing. Okay, that. You guys better make up for this in the future acts. Spoiler alert: they don't make up.
They
for this.
didn't.
Yeah.
yeah. It's fucked up, dude. It's fucked up.
Um,
And something that I wanted them to do more in Diablo 4 that they are not doing it is that the Carcane was like important in Diablo 2, right? So in Diablo 4, you want Lorath, the new guy, to be like your Deck Arcane. And for a little bit, he was. But then he disappears, and you are with no Deck Arcane. What the fuck, Blizzard? Give Lorath his place.
yeah. So as sort of a follow-up, I don't want to talk too much about Diablo, but I would like to ask you sort of like, so obviously we're all familiar with like the D4 bad meme, which kind of has started and been a thing about Diablo 4 for a long time. I don't necessarily agree with this, but it is something of a stigma about the game. And I did ask Slager about this, and I'm curious about your take. Like, do you think that Diablo 4 can be salvaged to the point where like the D4 bad meme just gets thrown out the window and it's actually D4 good? Or do you think that they've gone too far and that it's like beyond repair?
I'll be honest. I am a Diablo 4 enjoyer. I like the game. And I've been saying for a while that I do think, I am optimistic. I do think the game can be salvaged. But it can't be salvaged to recover from D4 bad. D4 bad is here to stay. Nobody's ever going to forget the D4 bad meme. This is going to be here forever. But the game can be good enough to enjoy it, you know. That is what I think. I follow all the changes that, for example, they are right now in the Season 11 PTR, and the changes are good. But these changes are not enough to make D4 good. They make the game better, for sure. But if you already didn't like Diablo 4 or you think that Diablo 4 sucks, those changes are not going to change your mind, you know, which is a pain in the ass because I like the game and I want it to be good. And honestly, when you are with GGG and Path of Exile and you see that every 2 months between PoE 1 and PoE 2, they come up with a banger league, new content, the cadence of content, and the amount of content that you think, brother, Blizzard has no excuse, brother. What the fuck is going on, dude? Why can't they make Diablo 4 better? Like, I do think I know what they need to do. Like end game content and improving the skill tree would be awesome. But yeah, I don't know what they are doing over there, man. They are trying. I can see they are trying, but I don't think it is enough. They can make it good enough. I don't think people are ever going to forget the forward.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. No, I like that take where it's like that meme is here to stay, but you can always improve, improve, improve. And, you know, people may not be like D4 good, but people will say D4 better. If D4 is better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, I feel like from what I've heard, and like obviously I don't know the inner workings of Blizzard and stuff like that. But from what I've heard, like the project, like the D4 project, was kind of like handed down to a lot of different developers as like Blizzard encountered a lot of shifts in their employment. So they did have that big like misconduct thing. We don't have to get into that, but that had a big changeover and effect on a lot of the people that work there. And so I feel like with D4 specifically, there was a lot of like, here I have to finish, stuff that people have been worked on, and then those people quit, and then new people have to finish that, and the cycle continues. Where it feels like with GGG, it's like there is this very like tight knit group of people that are working on PoE 1 and then on PoE 2 as well now, and it's like those people have been working for the company for like a very, very long time. Like look at Mark Roberts, right? Where he's been at the company for like whatever, since the beginning almost, not quite a founder like Jonathan Rogers or Chris Wilson, but that's kind of the vibe that I get from GGG is like these people are, when you get a job there, it's like you're here to stay, and like they love their job, they love the project they work on, and it really shows with like the quality of game that they make in Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 as well.
Yeah. And there is also a thing that we speculate about it. We are not sure, but it is what we think, which is the whole like bureaucracy. Like people say that for the end, when he went for the GE office, he says that they are all in the same floor. And if somebody has something to say to Mark or Jonathan, they just open the door. Hey, dude, I have an idea for this, blah, blah, blah. And they can just go back and forth. Okay, do it. And in Blizzard, it probably has to go through 4 layers of approval. I have an idea for this. Let's do a meeting to discuss the idea. And then you propose it to the other guy, and the other guy says it to the other guy, and he hands it down, and then it is 3 months to.
Yeah, and then he's on vacation with his wife for a month, and for sure. We all know how it goes, 100%.
I think that plays a role too, but I also probably it also has to do with philosophy, right? A point where no, we have to make Diablo not as complex or casual or whatever. So and I don't agree that casualness is the same as brain dead. Casual just means that you have less time to play the game because you have other stuff to do, but you can still enjoy complexity while being a casual. And I think that is a philosophy problem that Diablo 4 has, that assumes that since they have to cater to casuals because we are the casual ARPG, we have to dumb down the game. And I don't agree with that. I think, in fact, that is one of the weakest points of the game, that it is too dumbed down.
No, that's a great point. I love kind of the relationship that you kind of broke down, where it's like just because a game is sort of centered around players that don't have a lot of time to enjoy it, that doesn't mean that there can't be this like deep understanding of knowledge and depth of mechanics that keep these players playing for a long time, and actually even attract more like hardcore players as well. And I think that like that is sort of the line that like GGG is treading pretty carefully with PoE 2, where it's like it feels much more approachable. It's probably has a lot to do with the fact that like it's still like, we're on the ground floor with PoE 2 right now, where it hasn't had years and years of content to develop. But the changes that they've made, the tutorials in game, all that kind of stuff, the skill gem rework, it makes the game just like more approachable for these casual players. They have to like spend less time researching shit while still, going to have that like deep understanding of systems and mechanics down the road as well.
Yeah, I think honestly, Path of Exile 2 does a pretty good job at that. That Path of Exile 2 didn't do, by the way. Path of Exile 1. You can just play the game and have fun and enjoy it in PoE2. Yes, you probably are not going to be as strong or blast as fast as if you knew all the systems or whatever, but it is you can still figure it out at your own pace. And the figuring out is fun. That is something that Diablo 4 forgets. That no, if we make a system that people have to figure out, they will waste time doing that instead of killing monsters, and that is why we have to do it simple. But they are forgetting that ARPG players like figuring out their build. They like, oh, what skill am I going to put in here? What am I going to do? They like customizing their character. That is part of the fun, and they removed that completely in Diablo 4, while Path of Exile 2 gives it to you. In Path of Exile 1, it is even cool that you can customize your endgame experience with the Atlas 3. I hope they improve that in Path of Exile 2. While there is also it is also true that Path of Exile has stuff that it is not casual friendly, in my opinion, like removing experience when you die. That's a regression of you. I know you don't care because if you die, you lose your character hardcore. But in softcore, if you die, you lose experience, and that is not casual friendly. But still, I think they are doing a good job in Path of Exile 2 in relation to complexity and casualness, and still also chasing an objective, because that is also a problem that Diablo 4 has. In Diablo 4, you clear the whole league or season in 3 days because there is nothing to chase. In Path of Exile, you could say, for example, I always chase completing the content, right? Killing Urban Arbiter, killing all the content in the Breach Expedition, getting all my points, right? Chasing this, it is a 2 week, 3 week, 4 weeks, depending on how much time you play chasing of something, but it is still attainable, right? And I think that is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, there's a few things that I wanted to touch on. I think that this whole conversation kind of on a grander scale, I think is influencing this new like shift in game design where we're kind of like seeing the fall of like the giga corporations, like the Blizzards, the Ubisofts, the EAs, and all of the shit in favor of these smaller teams, sometimes like indie developers who are just like popping the fuck off right now. Like, you get games like Megabonk coming out, Balatro. There's like some RV game that's popping off right now that's like kind of a similar vibe to what's it called? Schedule One. Like, and all of these games are like exceeding the player numbers that like these crazy AAA games are having in most cases, and it's just cool to see that like we've gone almost full circle now with game design and game creation, where we started with small companies making really passionate games, passionate teams with passionate games, grew to these giga corporations where now it takes a month to make one change in a game, and because of that, these tiny developers with just a really good vision can make like absolute bangers that are just taking the world by storm, which is cool to see as well.
Yeah, I think sometimes big companies forget that the games are about the game, and I know that statement can be stupid, but check it out. The number one thing in a game is gameplay. Gameplay is king, and everything else has to serve gameplay. That is why these indie developers are doing fun games, because they don't have the budget to make the craziest graphics, the craziest cinematics, have crazy writers. So they just have to make a fun game, man. Just make a fun game and do whatever you can to serve that purpose, and everything will be fine. And then you have Megabong, and then you have Volpid, and you have Vampire Survivors and stuff like that. Instead, you go to you mentioned, for example, Assassin's Creed. I don't know, and yes, the game is good, but they are focusing on that. If you step in water, the water does whatever the fuck. Nobody cares, man. Nobody's looking at that when they are playing the game. It is cool, but it is better if the game is good, and then on top of that, you get the water. Not that the point is that the water splashes. Nobody gives a fuck about that, man. So I think that big companies are focusing too much on bullshit instead of focusing on what gamers actually care about. And when I mean bullshit, I also mean stupid stories that nobody cares, focusing on technical aspects that nobody cares, focusing on bad monetization that players hate and stuff like that. And while indie developers don't have all this bureaucracy and they just do what the player wants, which is cool gameplay.
For sure. And I think a lot of people are easily swayed or dare I use the word get baited by like really cool looking trailers. Like, you know, you see the water reflections, like you just said, you step in the water and like it looks fucking incredible. And you see these crazy graphics in Unreal Engine 5. And you're like, okay, visually this game looks cool, but like show me gameplay. Show me what I'm actually going to be doing in the game. And it kind of, you know, going full circle brings us back to like games like StarCraft and like, you know, Warcraft 3 and stuff like that, where like, yes, the graphics were kind of like at the pinnacle for that time frame, but that was like the limitation they had. So they had to make the game as fun and as balanced as possible. And, you know, graphics were just sort of a byproduct at the time, where now it seems like, you know, right now a lot of companies, bigger companies are like, there's an expectation to have a game look like, you know, 2025 modern and then gameplay afterwards. It would be crazy to see like Blizzard or, you know, EA or you know, Activision make a game that didn't look like a triple A game, but the gameplay felt like a triple A game. You know what I mean? Like how would that even feel? Like could they even do that? I don't know, but it would be interesting.
I do think Diablo 4 kind of does it because Diablo 4 feels good to play. The problem with Diablo 4 is that it is in a genre where you are expected to keep playing. Like if Diablo 4 was the campaign and that's it, people wouldn't be as mad to it because the game feels good to play. The campaign is kind of cool. The problem with D4 is that after you do the campaign, you don't have anything to do. And then they do the campaign skip. But I do think the game looks good and the game feels good to play. It has good gameplay. The problem is that there is no end game, and that is another thing with a lot of games. That even if the basic gameplay loop is fun to its most basic block, there is still a limit of how many times I can repeat doing this same thing until it gets boring. And that is also something that a lot of AAA games forget about. And then they have you do the same thing over and over again for 40 hours. And that is a game, man, that is boring.
Yeah, and like Diablo 2 is a perfect case study for that, where it's like there is no end game in Diablo 2. It's just kill Baal a million times, kill Mephisto a million times, kill Diablo a million times. But the itemization was is so good in that game that, you know, that there's, despite there not being a lot to do, it's still super fun to play and hunt down these items and build your character. And yeah, it feels like, you know, I think they're really trying to, you know, work towards that. They obviously have done that in Path of Exile 1. They're working towards doing that in Path of Exile 2. But with Diablo, I feel like that was a little bit lost, where, you know, Diablo 3, it was like, unless you're using full set and full unique items, don't even, like, you know, the rest of the items don't even matter. That's a whole other thing, itemization. But yeah, let's move into talking a bit more about Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2. So we got some pretty exciting stuff happening on Friday. So we have the Keepers of the Flame Path of Exile 1 patch coming out. Give me sort of your perspective on it. Are you going to be logging in? What are you going to be playing? All that fun stuff.
Yes, I will be live right at the launch. I took a day off work to be able to be there. I am really excited. It is going to be awesome. This is my second official league for Path of Exile 1. I started with Path of Exile 2. I played 326. It was awesome. I loved it. I killed all 7 overbosses in my very first league. And now I am here and ready to go again. Really, really excited. Again, as I said earlier, I decided my starter spinning the wheel, and the wheel gave me the Juggernaut, so I will league start the Juggernaut. And I was researching what builds can I league start for the Juggernaut, and I got the Earth Shatter. I am going to do one Earth Shatter Juggernaut as my league starter. And yes, I am really excited, dude.
Nice, dude. We're going to be both playing Earth Shatter. I'm going to do it on a Berserker in hardcore, but dude, I've been doing some practice runs with it, and oh man, it feels good when you get everything going. Yeah, that's super cool. So you started with Path of Exile 2, which I actually didn't realize. So we both have had like pretty similar experiences where like Path of Exile 2 like really hooked us I guess in December of this year, or December of last year, sorry. And then we both tried Path of Exile 1 afterwards as sort of like, yo, I want to go see what the first game's about. So tell me a little bit about like, you know, what do you think like both games do really well? and maybe what do you think both games kind of like struggle with? I know we kind of talked a little bit about this before, but just to kind of highlight your experiences as well, between going from both games.
I think it is like an X in the sense that the
Mm.
campaign in Path of Exile 2 is really good and it sucks in PoE 1. And the end game is pretty good in PoE 1 and it sucks in Path of Exile 2. So
Yeah.
I don't think the campaign is going to improve in PoE 1 at this point, but the end game in Path of Exile 2 can certainly improve, and I think they will improve it. 0.4 is supposedly focused on endgame, but I do want them to, honestly, the Atlas 3 in Path of Exile 2, I would want them to make it more like the Atlas 3 in PoE 1,
Mhm.
where you can hyper customize your endgame experience through the Atlas 3. The scarabs, which are like the precursor tablets, customize it a little bit more, but they are complementary. They are not the system. Like in PoE2, precursor tablets are the system, and the Atlas 3 is complementary. I think that is backwards. I prefer it if the Atlas 3 is the main system, and then the precursor tablets are complementary. I think that Path of Exile 1 does that very, very well, where you can completely customize your endgame experience. It is the thing that I love the most about PoE 1, and the amount of stuff that you can do is fucking awesome. Stuff that the game can do, both games can do better, is explaining more stuff to the player, especially if you are a new player. You don't know what the fuck is going on over half the time, and you have to open up a YouTube video to explain to you what bridge is or whatever. But outside from that, like gameplay wise, we are always making videos of you improve this and do this, because yes, we are, again, when you are trying to make one video a day, you have to come up, hey, I have to come up with something to talk about. Okay, I am going to complain about this shit. But overall, when you actually think about it as a game, these games are fucking awesome. There is not much to complain about. We are hyper analyzing stuff for content, you know. But I do think the games are fucking awesome.
100%. And it's not necessarily like just for content. I think it's also just like because we love the game and we want the game to be better. And that's like the beauty of early access as well, as like the whole point of early access is to get all of us, the guinea pigs, the hamsters on the wheel, and see what we like about the wheel and what we don't like about the wheel, and then provide that to GGG, who is listening and making changes based on like what, you know, us, the hamsters on the wheel, actually want. And we can even see that from like 0.1 to 0.3 how far the game has come. Like, you know, 0.3, obviously I don't even need to get into how many W's we got in this patch with crafting and, you know, all this type of stuff, but the game is obviously being improved significantly, and I'm just so optimistic, dude, about what they're going to do in 0.4, like, because they know, like, as you said perfectly in your analogy, like, we are at this X where it's like campaign starts off amazing and then end game is like pretty lackluster, and like, you know, Path of Exile 1 kind of mirrors that. And it's going to be crazy when like the end game gets fleshed out in Path of Exile 2. And I think that's when we'll probably see the rework of the Atlas tree, because we can't really populate a tree that much because there's not enough content to really like, you know, customize. But one thing I wanted to ask you was like, what are your thoughts right now on the current infinite Atlas system? Do you think that that's going to be the one that they end up going with, or do you think that it needs some sort of rework, or scrap it, implement something closer to PV1? What are your thoughts?
This is something that I discuss a lot with my community, because people tend to like more the system like in PoE 1, where you don't have the infinite expanding Atlas. You just open the map that you want, that you like, and you go there. I'll be honest, I like more the Infinite Atlas in the sense that I know where I am going. I know that functionally it is the same. You are opening a portal and you go to the place. But there is like a psychological, subconscious aspect of just knowing where I am going, that I am traversing the world, that makes it matter more to me. In Path of Exile 1, I feel disconnected. Or I am opening a portal to whoever cares, and I go and I kill a bunch of monsters, I come back, nobody gives a fuck. In PoE 2, I feel like, oh, I am traversing the world and I am exploring. I know where I am going. Although functionally it is the same, it feels cool. I don't think they are going to scrap completely, entirely the Infinite Atlas thing, and I hope they don't. The problem is that a lot of people are focusing too much on the Infinite Atlas, and I don't think that is a problem. You can still have all the cool things you have in PoE 1 and still keep the Infinite Atlas, because that is not the problem. The problem is that people want to select the layout. Give people ways of selecting the layout. Maybe a terraforming orb, you apply it to the thing and it transforms into something else. Maybe it depends on the biome, and you have a range of layouts depending on the biome. I don't know. People want to be able to connect two dots to maps that are disconnected. Give people ways of doing that. Like, people are not entirely intrinsically against the concept of the Infinite Atlas, but they are against the concept of not being able to personalize their endgame experience. Give them the tools, and then having this Atlas is not as bad, you know. There is one problem though with the Infinite Atlas, and it is the loading times. Once you are playing a lot, you have like a big fucking Atlas and everything is fucked up, and traversing all the thing is dude.
That is a huge issue. I mean, I'm almost level 98 on my character, and so I've done quite a few like maps basically to get to that point. And it's like you're trying to find shit to go. You're trying to find a map that you saw earlier, and then you closed out your atlas by accident because you didn't have a map in there, and then it brings you back to where you originally were, and you're like, where was I going? What was I doing? And yeah, so I think that, you know, you're absolutely right. I think that the actual concept of the Infinite Atlas is cool. Having more player agency is mandatory, just because they're, you know, players from PoE 1 are used to being able to just be like, yo, I like dunes. I'm just gonna play dunes for 1,000 hours if I want to, because that's my favorite layout. And I do think that like being able to do that in PoE 2 kind of not like trivializes the whole Infinite Atlas system, because I think a whole part of that is supposed to be like you're exploring, you're like moving through zones, you're like, you know, oh, there's a corrupted area over here, let's go there. I gotta, you know, it's in a desert biome, so there's going to be more Rust Bowl and whatever epitaph and stuff like that. But I feel like it's a tough balancing act, because yes, agency is great. Like, I want to be able to skip, you know, Mire. If I see Mire on there, I want to either be able to re-roll that bitch or just completely skip it. And you can't do that. So give us that at the bare minimum. And then, yeah, I think functionality wise, I wouldn't be surprised if they've already made this and they're just waiting to drop this, but like a search function for the Atlas. How do I search a specific boss? How do I search a specific map? How do I search X, Y, and Z? Make it function the exact same way as the passive tree as well, where you can just type something into the search bar and it just brings you right there. Would be two things that I think need to happen in 0.4.
The search function is a must-have. They need to implement it at some point, and I think they know they have to implement it at some point, even if it is not ready for 0.4. They know that the game needs it eventually if you are going to keep the Infinite Atlas thing. I think that a compromise regarding because you bring an important point, which is, if I can do whatever the fuck I want with my maps, then why have an Infinite Atlas in the first place? The point of the Infinite Atlas is exploration, as you said. I think that a good compromise is that you can still give the player agency, but there are things that you can only find by exploring, and they have that, like the unique maps, the citadels, the anomalies, and you, outside of those, you can customize and do whatever you want, but you explore to find these things, and there you have like the compromise between the two things, and it is cool in my opinion. Also, regarding the layouts, you know that meme where they say, give me an opinion that has you like this, and it is a dude with 10,000 swords looking at them, because it is an opinion that gets people mad at you. Where my opinion that gets people mad at me is that complaining about people are mad at me every time I say this. But complaining about layouts is pussy bitch behavior. Who the fuck cares about layouts? Just play the game and kill the monsters, man. What do you want? An empty square room with nothing in there, and the monsters come at you and you kill them. That is not no layout bullshit, pussy. That being said, I also hate Mire. Fuck Mire. All my homies hate Mire. Yeah, delete Mire from the game, man. That sucks. Me, that I think that complaining about layouts is pussy bitch behavior, I am complaining about that layout. Imagine that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because unironically, I feel like if all maps were just giant squares or circles with content in it and nothing else, it was just like an empty square with like shit in it, I bet you there's a large portion of people that'd be like, "That's fucking awesome! I just go in there and I do the shit, and then I leave, and that's great. I don't have to use a checkpoint. I
When
can
you
just
actually think about it, it is boring, man.
yeah." And I think that they need to find a better balance. Like another issue that I think doesn't get talked about enough in terms of like layouts and mapping. And I am a complainer of this stuff because I play certain builds, and what I'm about to say is kind of a thing that doesn't get talked about a lot, where like layouts basically support or grief your build. So there are certain like layouts that are better for if you're playing Deadeye. There's certain build layouts that are better for if you're playing Warrior. Like based on or whatever skills you're using, there are more favorable layouts. One thing that sucks for the build that I'm playing, which is a Falling Thunder Invoker, is that the projectiles that Falling Thunder creates aren't like true projectiles, so they don't fly over like the rocks and the fucking trees and all that shit. So when I'm playing maps with a bunch of rocks and trees and fucking little pockets of water and stuff like that, all my projectiles just stop at those locations. And it makes you realize like how much clutter there is on a lot of these maps. I do like how they have like winding passageways in some areas and like different open areas. I do think though that like they could tailor down the clutter in some of these maps, because there is just like, you know, when shit's popping off and you have a breach open and there's an abyss and you can't see anything, and then your character's stuck because it's like running into a rock and you can't see. It's like, I think that's maybe this is just a bigger visual clarity issue, but you know, the clutter is a problem for me personally.
No, I agree completely. That is, in fact, one of the number one complaints that I see in comments in my videos, when I am stream, even when I watch other videos or Reddit threads. People are not only the layouts and the clutter because of the layout, but also the, as you say, the bigger issue regarding screen clutter, and you don't see what. Sometimes you get killed by something in the ground that you weren't able to see because there is too much green shed in the screen, or the delirium fog is also hiding it, and it is fogged. So you have to decide if you are going to have a bunch of things in the map that fog me over, then you have to reduce the screen clutter. And if you are going to have all this screen clutter, then you need to have less stuff in the map layout that fogs me over. But when you compound the two things, I am screwed, right?
Yes, dude.
But regarding the Thunder, the Falling Thunder, I played a Falling Thunder build in 0.2. And I liked that the Falling Thunder interacts with walls, because I think it was a Ricochet.
You have to.
Support gem,
use it, yeah.
and makes it up. Boom, 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 boom. And when you are in a tight hallway, the Falling Thunder bounces 100 times and you kill everything, and it was cool.
That is definitely cool for sure. No, I think that Ricochet makes it usable. If there wasn't that support gem, it would just feel bad if like you just hit the walls and it just stopped moving. But yeah, no, I love that analogy where it's like they kind of have both. It was like they planned for there to be less visual clutter with like degens and like shit happening on screen. So they included all of these cool visual things in maps, like, you know, the broken down wagons and stuff that adds sort of to the vibe of these maps. But in reality, now we just have a bunch of shit in the maps that make us unable to move and use our skills properly, on top of also not being able to see what's happening. And so, yeah, I think they kind of have to make a choice. And it is interesting going from playing a lot of PoE 1 these last few days to going back and playing PoE 2. And like, it really feels like they're both at a state where like you can't really see what's happening in both cases, which is definitely something that they didn't want for PoE 2. So we'll see. Do you think they're going to dial it back in 0.4? What do you think?
I hope they dial it back in PoE 2. In fact, there was a lot of conversation about this recently. I don't know if you watched that of Meta Michael video talking about this. Because, yes, he basically said, Jonathan, in an interview, I am pretty sure I reacted to it on my channel. I don't remember the video. But he said on an interview that one of the points of Path of Exile 2 was being able to tell what is going on in the screen. Because when you are playing Path of Exile 1, if you are not a Path of Exile 1 player, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Hell, even being a Path of Exile 1 player, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Because there is so much stuff happening, so many explosion things. You are going at the speed of light. You don't know what is happening. The point of Path of Exile 2 was, even if the game is fast, you can still know what is going on. But we came to a point in 0.3 where we are at we don't know again. We don't know what is going on. There are 10,000 things happening. The speed is crazy. The screen clutter is insane. And if you show someone playing the end game in Path of Exile 2 going fast to a new player and you invite them to play, hey, do you want to play this game? Fuck no, I don't know what that is going. If you show them footage of fighting Count Geonor in Act 1, then they say, oh, that game looks cool, I want to play that. But clearing a map level 95 at the speed of light, nobody wants to play that. After you are a PoE player, yes, but for a new player, they don't know what the fuck that is.
It's funny because I feel like they nailed, like, and I talked about this with Offmod and Michael in our like IRL podcast, where we actually had such an awesome opportunity to like meet up. It was the first ever IRL podcast episode, so shout out to the homie Offmod and Michael. He does awesome videos. And we talked about like, is meaningful combat dead? And I think we both kind of came to the like conclusion that the campaign is, you know, their vision, or what we thought was the closest thing to the vision for Path of Exile 2, where it's like you're engaging with boss mechanics, you're like you know, fighting less dense monster zones, where like there's not as many like massive groups of monsters, and it feels like meaningful combat is alive and well in the campaign, especially if you're playing it through the first time. Like that's my favorite run, right? Where like you're in hardcore SSF, you have nothing to your fucking name, not even a transmute orb, and you're like fighting for your life in Clearfell against like the wolves, and like it feels like that is like a completely different game than, you know, when you're level 98 in maps and you're just like, yeah, you can't see shit. So I hope that they can sort of like, I don't even know what the option is, because it almost seems like that's just how it gets at some point. And when you have, you know, we barely have that much league content to begin with in the end game. Like I can only imagine when we have, you know, all of the other shit that's going to come over from PoE 1 into PoE 2. Like, do you think that they can still achieve this like visual clarity and, you know, all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
I do think they can definitely do it, because I think they are not that far away. You already said it. They have nailed down the campaign. The campaign right now, even up until the interludes, it feels fine. The problem starts arriving when you are in the end game, right? And I do understand that we want that power fantasy of getting stronger. And I do think that is what Path of Exile is trying to achieve. They don't want you to still be doing level 10 things at level 90. They want you to feel stronger and that you are doing crazy stuff, which is awesome. So the problem is that the exponential in the higher part is getting too crazy. But at the same time, why I think they can reel it down, because the map bosses after 031, where they put a map boss in every map, it feels great again. These map bosses, after you have all your Atlas points, buffing the bosses, and if you find a boss that is the special powerful boss, these bosses feel meaningful again. Mm-hmm. You have to dodge the mechanics. You have to fight. Well, I don't know how the crazy builds are doing, but for my builds, I have to fight these dudes. And it feels cool again, fighting these bosses. The part that is kind of sucky is the actual clearing of the map. So if they improve the clearing of the map by lowering the speed of your actual build, which I know people don't like to get nerfed, but man, going at the speed of light is not the way. We have to get nerfed. And also by reducing the screen clutter, that this is not a philosophy thing. It is just just fix the graphics of the thing, right? So that we can see what is going on, and maybe put less stuff on a screen at the same time. I think that can improve your mapping experience, and since bosses are already good, you are still strong, you are still faster than in the campaign, but you can see what is going on. Bosses are cool. And then pinnacle encounters like Sesh or Allrod or the Ritual King, they are too weak right now, in my opinion. You buff them so they are a little bit harder, like the map bosses. And I think right there you have, if you are not fixing endgame entirely, but talking about specifically this philosophy of how the game should feel in comparison to the feeling in the campaign, I think it will be a very good compromise, and you still feel that progression without completely destroying the essence of the combat.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I absolutely do. And I love that you kind of touched upon like the difficulty of the game, especially the end game as well. Like they gave us so much power in 0.3 with like crafting, and I feel like the base power level for every character with all of these like crazy items is just like way higher than like, I've never had a character as strong as I've had in 0.3, and like and I've played HCSSF since like 0.1. Where like we were struggling, man. We were down enormous back then, and now we're like absolutely crazy. And it just feels like right now they gave us a lot of power, but they didn't also increase the difficulty at the very late stages of progression.
Which is something. Sorry for interrupting, but so that I don't forget, which is something that you can do. Okay, you don't want to nerf the player, you can buff the game, but then you go down the route of you are changing the game entirely because now the game is harder and the player is faster, the game is harder, player is faster, and then you have a completely different game. So to not do that, I think it is easier to just nerf the player.
True. Yeah, we'll kind of see what they actually end up doing. And I've talked about this quite a bit with different people where like the game felt way harder. And I think it has a lot to do with obviously like our skill level. Like we both have been playing the game since December. We were both like dog shit at it. We had no idea how to, build a character or engage with the game. But the game was also harder like by design as well because there was less currency. The monsters were tougher. They had more HP, blah, 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 blah. And so I feel like as we've gotten better at the game and the game has given us more opportunity to increase our power, they've also changed it to make the game a bit easier as well. There's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like, like there's got to be sort of a tailoring out where at the end, the late end game is where the biggest issue for me is where nothing feels hard anymore. And it's just like brain off. And I do love just the feeling of, again, in the campaign where you do have to lock in and like focus and like engage. It's something that like not a lot of ARPGs actually have. So yeah, it's a special thing. And I hope that they figure it out, and I'm sure they will in the future for sure.
I think the easiest way of doing that is having great pinnacle encounters. For example, because people still like the brain of moments. So Path of Exile 1 is cool because of that. Because when you are mapping, if you are not doing tier 17s, which are difficult and suck dick, but if you are doing tier 16s, normally you are brain off. You are killing monsters, you don't give a fuck. But then you attempt an uber boss and you have to brain on, I think they could do that for Path of Exile 2 in the sense that you are clearing the map, you are brain off, you get to the map boss, brain on.
Yes.
Or if you are going to fight Uber Arbiter or other Uber bosses that they want like tier 3 difficulty, brain on, right? That would be cool.
No, that's great. Yeah, I think that like, yeah, absolutely. We got to sort of find a better balance between these moments of like engagement with the brain on and brain off. And it is something that I'm pretty optimistic that they're going to figure out. Like we're still at the end of the day in this game's infancy. Like we're only on like patch 0.3. Like we don't know what the game is going to look like in the next patch, let alone in 1.0. Like we got a long road ahead of us, and I'm just excited to be on this journey with you and with everybody else just playing this fucking kick-ass game, man.
Yes, man. I honestly, I say it all the time. I fell in love with the game the very first day that I played it, December 6th. The game is a fucking masterpiece. It belongs in a museum. It has its problems, yes. But again, I am also very happy of being here in the journey of participating in the game. When you have to pay early access for a game that is going to be free, you always are thinking like, should I spend the money for this or should I wait? I am happy that I didn't wait and I got into it right away because it is really fucking good. So also I want to address that some people feel entitled in the way that, well, but I paid $30 for the game. The game should feel complete, or I can complain, or give me my money back, or whatever. We were talking earlier about how we played games when we were younger, right? And dude, when we were younger, we would. I remember me and my friends. We would have. We were asking, give me the possibility of being able to pay to be part of the beta. For example, my most played game is Dora 2. I remember that we were playing, all my friends, we were playing Dora 1. And when Dora 2 came out, it came out in a closed beta and there were very little keys available. We would have loved for the possibility of buying the beta key. You could do it in the black market, but let's talk about directly with the company, right? Like the possibility of buying the key to play. Now, since developers know that people wanted to do that, they are implementing this early access stuff, which is basically that. And now we don't like it either. So we are not happy if they do it, and we are not happy if they don't do it. Brother, I am happy that I can I could be able to pay to participate in what this is basically a beta, right? And we can give feedback and we can have fun and actively participate in the development of the game, even if in a small manner.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, and the thing about GGG, and I glaze them all the time for this, is like you're not only paying for the game, but you're also paying to like get the equivalent value in microtransactions as well. So it's like you might as well like it's like you're going on the site to buy $30 worth of like microtransaction currency, but you're also getting a game that I've been able to spend, 1,000+ hours playing for $30. Like you don't get that type of value very often in today's gaming ecosystem. And so it's just like, yeah, it's a special company, it's a special game. I totally agree. And like I'm also super happy that we didn't have to wait. Imagine if we had to wait until December of next year to even lay our hands on this game, and then it still had all of these issues that we had to work through every step of the way. Like it's a no-brainer. Early access is the smartest decision for sure.
Exactly. And when someone asks me, should I buy it? I say that because, yes, you should. Because what happens is that, okay, the game comes out free. You play it and you like it. You are still going to probably spend the $30 buying the stash tabs because you kind of need them, right?
Mhm.
So right now you can get the access for the same $30 and you get the stash tabs. It is like, just do it,
100%. It's a no-brainer, guys. Yeah, so I wanted to check in with you. We're at like an hour and a half. How are you doing and how are you feeling?
I am awesome, man. I am great. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, dude. Yeah, I know that you said you were recovering from a little bit of sickness, so I don't want to take up too much of your time today. But yeah, I have like some more questions. We'll probably go for like another like I don't know 20, 30 minutes maybe if you're cool with that.
I am cool. Let's go.
Awesome. Well, dude, yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and it's been a great chat so far. So I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. By the way, I know some people want me to talk about the thing. So I will talk about the thing and I will ask you what is your opinion?
Sure.
Do you think at City fucked the beast or she didn't fuck the beast?
Dude, that's all you, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't given any thought to this, but now that we think about this a bit more, there's probably a pretty high possibility that she did fuck the beast. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
There you go. There
I'm
you
not-
go. That is the logical answer. That is
Yeah.
the logical answer.
100%.
Like we can never know unless GE comes out and say it if yes or no. But if we are in the probability spectrum, it is more likely that she did that she didn't, right?
Yeah, like signs point to yes, but do you think that they'd actually like come out and say that that is a part of the story or what?
I don't think they will come out and say it, but I do think, dude, it was my honest to God first interpretation because I thought that, oh, they are saying commune with the beast because they don't want to say she's having sex with the beast. It is a game, right? But they are using this ambiguous language to let us know, so they don't need to clarify it further because that is the intention, that it is open to interpretation.
But what if she has like a beast baby or something where it's like it's implying that that happened, but they're not. I don't know. Like, this is just going to go down a deep rabbit hole, man. But yeah,
I think the very fact that we fight. Well, I don't know if you did that fight, but you fight her in PoE1, and she's like a giant monster with 4 arms, 4 teeth, and she's red. Brother, that implies she did something crazy with the beast, and that changed her, right?
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm happy. I'm happy you brought that up. I also, in terms of hottest takes, I just wanted to ask you if you had like any really hot takes for either game, and you'd like to share that. We can talk about like what are your hottest takes about both games right now.
Well, in fact, I have a lot of takes that people hate from me for the game. One is the one that I shared earlier, that complaining about layouts is pussy behavior. I also think that, brother, I had it. I was thinking about it and I forgot. Oh, I remember.
Okay.
That I think that people hate me for this one. That I think that the sprinting mechanic in PoE2 should be disabled in boss fights. I don't like that you can sprint in boss fights because I think that the bosses were designed. When they designed the bosses in PoE2, they didn't know they were going to do sprinting, so they didn't They didn't design them with a sprint in mind. And there are mechanics that are completely trivialized by sprinting.
Oh my god, bro.
Sprinting shouldn't be there in boss fights. I think sprinting should be disabled when in combat. And you should wait like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 seconds to sprint after you are outside of combat. That is one hot take that I have.
I don't even think that's a hot take, bro. I'm happy you mentioned that because like you're absolutely right. Like especially going through in hardcore, like there are certain fights in the game where you need to like move or get out of the way, like Ruja in Act 2 when she tapes the grenade onto her like stick and starts swinging at you. Like that was a clench moment, dude. You're like, holy fuck, like I gotta get away. I slap a shield on and put shield charge on and you just like shield charge away. So that was a way to sort of mitigate that. But now it's like you just sprint and that whole phase is a joke. And same with like, Doriani in Act 3, he goes up, the blue circle comes out and he's going to slam you. Like before you had to like wait till the right moment, shield charge out, and then you're good. If not, you get one shot. Now you can just sprint and it doesn't even matter. And so, yeah, it kind of feels like, yeah, a lot of these bosses, and I'm sure there's plenty more mechanics that we could talk about, but I don't think that's a hot take, dude. I think that it would be cool if they disabled it. But here's the thing. You can't give people the ability to trivialize mechanics of sprint and then take it away from them. There's going to be people that are like, oh, what the fuck? So yeah, we'll see.
But that is the cool thing about being in early access, that you can always give the early access excuse and say, well, we are not taking it away because the game is not released. If you do it after the game is released, then it does feel like they are taking it away. But yes, I do feel like that, and I felt like that since the very moment that I fought that boss that you are saying, when I was able to just sprint and she's swinging and you are not even close, I said, no, bro, they have to fix this shit, because then what is the point of these bosses,
For sure. Yeah. And that specific boss, like everyone has been clapped by that boss once when she's running at you and your hardcore runs over and you're just fucking back to the beach. And yeah, I like those moments in bosses where like you can die if you're not like, actively using the right skills or like dodging at the right moment and stuff like that. And so, keeping those intact, I think moving forward is great. And who knows, if they don't change this, I really hope that they make mechanics in boss fights in Act 5 and 6 that do account for the fact that we can move faster with sprint as well. Which would make sense because I think that like difficulty progression wise throughout the campaign, it would actually get harder as we move into like Act 5 and 6. Like, how it is in the game right now, like Act 1 is easy, the game starts actually getting harder by like Act 3, and there are actually like challenging boss mechanics in Act 4 as well. And so I think that would align with like sort of the progression scaling of the campaign too.
Talking about bosses mechanics, by the way, I love what they did in Act 4 with the prisoner, that you have to use the mechanic in the map itself to be able to destroy the boss. That is fucking awesome, because it doesn't matter if your build is the most broken build ever. If you are brain dead and you don't realize that you have to click the ballista, you are not going to kill the boss. I hope they do more stuff like that.
100%, me too. And I also really liked Yama's like specter phase, where he teleports you into the middle of the map and then the specters run out and you have to kind of decide which one to go into. Like I died the very first time this league to that mechanic and I wasn't even mad. I was just like, that was fucking crazy that they just threw that into a boss fight in like Act 4. Like, God knows what they're going to do in Act 5 and 6. So again, it was really cool to see these mechanics, and it just made me super optimistic for like how the campaign and future pinnacles and endgame bosses are going to feel too,
Yeah. I also died once to that mechanic, but I was playing softcore, so it was not a big deal. And after you die once, you figure out how it is, and then you don't die anymore. But that was a cool one, and I do agree. I think the coolest thing about Path of Exile 2 in general are boss fights, to be honest. So I do hope they put more of an emphasis on that in the end game for future bosses, like pinnacle content, uber bosses, whatever, because that is honestly what I love the most about the game and what made me fall in love with the game when I started. Brother, when I fought the Bloated Miller, very first boss, when I created my character, I created a warrior, and you go and you fight the Bloated Miller for the first time and you say, this is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, as we mentioned, there's definitely improvements. Like I think that I like how the game isn't like a hand-holdy game. It kind of like teaches you things and then it's kind of like figure it out. I like that. I think that that's sort of lost in today's gaming ecosystem, where a lot of games are like, we'll basically play the game for you for the first hour just so you know how to play, and then we'll hold your hand the rest of the way. But I do think that there needs to be a tutorial for crafting, like 100%. I think people struggle with crafting. And it would just be nice if a lot of the resources that people like needed to know were like in the game. Talking about modifier weights and like all this type of shit. Like, right from the get-go, you get usually a crafting currency from Bloated Miller, like a transmute or something. Like, make people use it. Like, make people mod their weapon. Make people use a Regal Orb. Figure it out, because like, yeah, like you'll see videos and pictures of people who are like beat the game and never like put in a support gem, or beat the game and never use a crafting currency. And it's like, that they have to improve that just a little bit more, I think, at the beginning.
When you actually do it, you realize that the game is so much easier when you are using all these things. For example, if you're playing solo self-found and you drop a currency and you use it right away, your run is at the start in the campaign. It is way easier than if you weren't doing that, right? And checking the vendors and buying stuff. And yes, I do agree with you entirely that there needs to be a balance, right? It is true that it is cool figuring stuff out, and that the game has its difficulty and they are not carrying you and holding your hand, but it is also true that they don't explain shit, and they need to make it better for new players to learn stuff. For example, I always use this example when I started. I feel that in the state that Path of Exile 2 is right now, they assume that you played PoE 1. And when you are a new player that didn't play PoE 1 and don't know a bunch of stuff, you don't understand them. Currency, you said it best, is a good one, but also the map mechanics is a good one too. Like the ritual and the breach and the delirium, they don't explain it well. You could say, well, they are introducing it during the campaign, and yes, you have the mechanic during the campaign, but you just have it. They don't explain how it works, right? And you still have to go to a third-party website to understand it. Like, okay, what can I drop from the ritual? What is the favor that the ritual gives me? How many rerolls do I have? What does happen when I reroll? Not like those are extra stuff that I understand the basic ritual. You kill the monsters and you click on the thing. That is understandable from doing it in the campaign, but there are more stuff to ritual that they don't explain. The ritual king, the omens, the stuff. So I do need, there needs to be more explanation in game of these things.
100%. And I think that, like, for me personally, I really, really love the way that they've included league mechanics in the campaign in Path of Exile 2 versus Path of Exile 1, where kind of like the NPCs in Path of Exile 1 are just like there in the zone waiting for you when you get there. And that's how you discovered the league mechanic. And you're kind of like, is this part of the story, or what are you guys doing here? And then in PoE 2, it's like, oh, you actually have to do a side quest for Quinn. You go into the, the Freethorn, and you have to fight the King of the Mist, and that introduces it. And like, it makes me really excited for the way that they're going to, like, continually do that. We got Expedition in Act 4. We got a little bit of like Delirium in Act 4 as well. Like, we're going to see probably Breach in Act 5 and whatever else, maybe some other mechanics in Act 5 and 6. So they're doing a way better job at like narratively tying in everything together. But what basically off meta Michael said, and I think I agree with this, is like when we get to maps, there should be like a little, I don't know, tutorial area or like a suggested route that you take that actually teaches you all of this shit, because it is pretty like jarring to go through what's a pretty linear experience where like you have an objective, you're going through the campaign, you're fighting bosses, you're completing these quests. And then when you get to maps, it's like, there you go, have fun. There's a fucking ocean of shit to do. You just go off and you do it, right? And so, yeah, bridging that gap would be also beneficial as well.
I agree entirely with that. And there is, in PoE 1, there is one thing that I hope they do eventually in PoE 2, which is that when you get to the end game, they have like a new story that happens in the end game that gives you quests that make you progress in the end game. And in Path of Exile 2, you have it in quotes, but it sucks. In Path of Exile 2, it is Doriani telling you to cleanse the corruption. Man, it sucks dick. Nobody likes that. It is stupid. In PoE 1, it is that when you go to a map, I don't know if it happened to you, you find an NPC that is called the Envoy, and he tells you to do things for the Maven, the Eater of Wars, and the City in Exile, and you are building throughout maps to these encounters, and then you fight middle of the road bosses that are like the heralds of these bigger bosses, and you are in the end game doing your end game mechanics, but you are still progressing a story towards these big epic fights, and then you get there and it is awesome, and then that connects to the Maven. That whole thing, Path of Exile 2 could be awesome with that. Like, it is a quest line, it is a story, but at the same time, it takes you through the end game mechanics.
100%. Yeah. Like, I totally agree. They have that sort of in place in Path of Exile 1. And the beauty of it is you don't have to do it. It's there. You can completely ignore that quest if you don't want it, or if you want to, and just continue on with your day, going and hunting citadels or whatever you want to do. But giving people sort of just a general, like, a little love tap in the right direction, be like, hey, like, go check that out. Like, it helps people, right? And I think that a lot of people right now, I'd be curious to see the data on this. How many people just quit the game after getting to maps? Like, they beat the campaign, they have a great time. How many people keep going, and how many people just end up just saying, fuck this, this is too crazy, I'm out?
Probably a lot, because a lot of players like that sense of direction. Also, we like the freedom, but again, it is a spectrum, it is a balance, right? You like feeling you are progressing towards something, even if you are free to do it in different ways, right? But when a lot of players in PoE2, they get to maps, they feel like they are doing what all I have to do is clear these maps. For what? This sucks. And then they quit, I have to think that the drop is insane. Also because the campaign is fucking awesome, so it is hard to compete with that. But I also think it is because the way you engage at the start of getting into maps in PoE2 sucks. I don't think the cleansing of the corruption is cool in any way, shape, or form. And you kind of feel like you need to do it to get the Atlas points. In PoE1, as you said, you can ignore the quest line for the Eater of Wars and the City in Exile, and you can still get your Atlas points by just completing the map layouts. But in PoE2, if you ignore the quest, then you don't get the Atlas points. So you feel like you have to do it.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
100%. Okay, so let's see. I have a few more questions. We talked about a lot of stuff today, Jazzers. It's been an awesome conversation. We've kind of just dove deep. So maybe as sort of a couple wind down questions, let's do one more Path of Exile 2 question, and then we'll kind of move into sort of general stuff as we sort of like wind down for the podcast. So, with 0.4, they talked about Endgame as being sort of its like primary focus. I know we talked sort of about like Atlas functionality and stuff like that. Generally speaking, what is like the main thing you want to see fixed? Like, if there's like one thing that you're like, I cannot live without GGG addressing this and fixing this in the game, what is it? What do you think? Could be multiple things too.
I think I like the number one thing, and I think it is obvious that this is how I feel because I have brought it up during the conversation, is exactly that. The Atlas 3, the way you earn your points, the progression in the end game, how you do your end game mechanics, focus personalizing and customizing your experience in the end game with the Atlas 3. To me, that is the number one important thing. They have to improve what the Atlas 3 gives you, the Atlas 3 itself. They have to improve the way you get the points, like the cleansing of the sun sucks. And if you fix the Atlas 3, then you have to improve how the tablets interact with the map, because now you are putting more emphasis in the Atlas 3, right? That is the thing that I want to see improve the most. And I think they will do it, because that is the point of 0.4, right? Because what I want to see is you give me, in my ideal world, you give me a cool way of earning the points. It is fun. Maybe it is a quest line too, as we will talk. Now with the points, I put in the Atlas 3, and in the Atlas 3 I get, if I have to be more specific. For example, if you want to guarantee a breach in a map, you have to put a breach precursor tablet, right? Put that in the Atlas 3. If you want to see a Rogue Exile in the map, you have to put a precursor tablet, put that in the Atlas 3. And you customize more the experience with Atlas 3. Now you have multiple Rogue Exiles, or the Rogue Exiles, well, they do have this. They can drop more of this, or they can drop more of that. And your breaches have a higher chance of X or Y. Put all of that in the Atlas 3, and then with the precursor tablets, you do little more different types of customizations, like Scarabs do in PoE 1. That will be my number one thing that I want to see happen in 0.4 to make people engage more with the endgame system.
I love it. Yeah, I know we kind of touched upon that just generally speaking in our conversation, but it's nice to kind of get your like full opinion about that. And I totally agree. It would be crazy, dude, if you like unlocked Atlas points for the tree the same way you did in PoE 1, where you have to have like map completion of different zones, which would like encourage you to explore different areas, do the unfavorable maps sometimes to get those points. It would incentivize you to have to like spread out more throughout the Atlas as well. So I think that with what you said, they would have to have a way bigger tree with more points, right? You can't just have like whatever it is, the 40 points or something like that. You'd have to have more. So there are quite a few maps, and I'm sure that in 0.4 we'll be getting even more stuff with the endgame system in terms of layouts and stuff. So I really hope that you're right, dude, and they completely rework the Atlas tree and then like change the way we progress as well, because dude, that'd be sick. One thing I will add though that needs to happen is like performance. I know people beat performance over the head, but like man, it feels weird, especially going from playing PoE 1 to PoE 2, like doing content in the end game just feels so much better in PoE 1 because everything's just smooth. Like everything just feels smooth. And so I really hope that can get sorted out as well, because dude, it's just rough running at 10 FPS in maps.
I have heard like people with insane PCs that shouldn't lag at all, and they are still lagging. And yes, it is a problem, big problem.
Yeah.
In PoE 1, you can still get performance if you do something that is called blighted maps, but it is a niche environment. It doesn't happen all the time. It is true that PoE 1 is way smoother. And yes, obviously we want to see performance brought up, and yes, you could say there are a lot of stuff that we want to see improve, but they are like a given. They have to improve, like performance, balance, stuff like that, where they know they have to work on that, right?
For sure.
And they know they have to work on the end game, but the exact way of how they work on it is the thing that can change,
Definitely. All right, so just moving into a couple closing questions. This is a tough one, dude. It can get a little long-winded, but I encourage you to rant about this if you want to. So I just wanted to ask you, like, in your perspective, what do video games mean to you, and how have they impacted your life in either a negative or positive way, or both?
Okay, you say it is long-winded. By the way, I am sorry if I yapped a lot. Like in answers that could be shorter, I made it longer, and that way it decreased the amount of questions you wanted to give me because I yapped too much. I am sorry for that.
Don't apologize, bro. It's all good, man.
Regarding the question itself, dude, video games have been a big part of my life. And as you say, both positive and negative. Positive, cool moments with friends, alone, even with my mom. They have teach me stuff. I learned English because of games. I didn't go to I didn't learn English formally, like going to a fucking course or whatever. I learned just playing games, listening to music, watching movies, what felt right. So a lot of cool things. In the depressing moments of my life, darkest moments, I don't want to think about problems. You get hooked to a game, and 1 month goes by and you feel better too. Like those are cool things that games give you. But in the flip side, you also the procrastination, the wasting time, the avoiding responsibilities that can also happen, and that has definitely happened. But now that I am like with a gaming channel, it is like you are taking advantage of all that amount of knowledge, gaming knowledge that otherwise would be completely useless. We are putting it to work here in the channel, and then it is not entirely useless, and it is fucking cool,
I love that. Yeah, I hear you though. It's like a balancing thing. We didn't actually get to talk about that, so maybe like as a follow up, I would love to hear sort of like how do you balance like you've talked about like having to go to work and then you do the the YouTube channel and stuff like that. Like maybe talk to us a little bit about like your your balance strategy? Do you have it locked in? You still improving it? Like, what's that look like for you?
I need to improve it more because my balance is that there is no no balance. Well, there is a balance between the two because I feel like I have two jobs basically. I have my day job and my YouTube job, right? But I outside of that, then I have no life. I wake up every day and I do my normal job, and then after I go out, I stream, and after I finish the stream, I edit my videos and make my thumbnails, and I go to bed, and then the next day I wake up, I go to work, I stream, I edit, I go to bed, and I have no life. I am going all in on this thing because the goal, the objective is, well, one day I will be able to go full YouTube, and then I will be able to have a more normal work-life balance. But right now it is just the grind. We are grinding, we are going, we are doing it. So the balance is between the two jobs. I just do my normal work. I finish, I go and I do my YouTube. And it is not easy, man. It is hard because you are neglecting other areas of your life because of that. But hey, nothing good comes easy. So if someone out there is thinking about creating content and they still need to maintain a full-time job, know that it is doable, but it is a pain in the ass. You have to grind your ass off. I think that is the hardest part about content creation. The start when you have to balance these things out. After you are big and you have money, you pay editors. You just record the video. Don't have to work, and it is easier. And that is the part where people say, "Oh, YouTube is not a work." But when you do it like we are doing it right now, that it is working and creating content, it is definitely a job. It takes time. When you do everything, I edit your own videos, make your thumbnails, create the content, research the content. What am I going to talk about? You have to be in tune with the community. I have to watch videos about Path of Exile. What are people talking about? What are the news? You are doing a lot of stuff at the same time. It is definitely a job, man. Let me tell you. And I still think I can do more, and I should be doing more because of from Monday to Friday, there is so much stuff that I am doing that when I get off work on the weekend, I just want to rest. But I should be doing my chores on my weekend, creating better content, better videos on the weekends because I have more time, and I don't do it because I am lazy. But there still can be, I can still do more, basically.
Yeah, especially because you have that really like serious content schedule of like I want to try and do a video every like day or whatever. And I think that having that pressure, I think like it can weigh on you a bit when you have to consistently push something every day. And so yeah, I hear you, man. Like the balancing act is tough. We're going through the same thing where like I have a full-time job. It's I work for myself though, so it's a bit different where I'm not like tied down to schedules, and like I can take some time off for a league if I want to. If work is busy, then I have to do that, and I can't focus on content. And yeah, it's tough because at the end of the day, it's like, it is, like you said, two jobs. Like doing this by yourself, it requires a lot of work. And it's not as simple as just playing video games on the internet. Like, especially if you're making a YouTube channel and you want that to grow and make content and stuff like that. Like, yeah, man. And no, I feel you on all of the things you said, bro, for sure.
Yeah. I still try. It is still like I don't want it to sound like I am complaining. First of all, I am choosing to do it, and second of all, it is fun. You engage with the community, you play, you do stuff. It is cool. You talk about cool shit. You can come up with crazy things like that city fuck the beast. Like we are still having fun, But it is a grind. It is just it is a fun grind.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. And I think that for me personally, it aligns a lot with like what I enjoy out of my own job, like my main job, where like I am an entrepreneur, I have my own business, and I've talked about this on the podcast quite a bit, but you kind of get what you put in, and you do have to put in way more work. It's a lot simpler to have a 9 to 5, you clock in, you clock out, you go home and you don't think about work anymore. But when you're an entrepreneur, it's like when you're not working, you're thinking about what can I do to, be better at this job or make myself grow more or whatever. And the same thing is happening with content creation for me, where it's like when I'm doing my other job, I'm like thinking like, what's the next video that I'm working on, or like what are some cool concepts that I'm playing with, or is there something that I can do to improve my editing for next time? Like, there's a lot of cool shit, and you do see the like fruits of your labor, and it is very tangible too, which I like. Where like, sometimes you do a video you're really proud of and it flops and it fucking feels bad, but sometimes you do a video that you're really proud of and it does really well, and you're like, damn, like you get that instant gratification. You can see the views go up, the likes go up, the comments, and then you have people coming into your stream. They're like, yo, I watched your latest podcast with Jazzerus and I thought it was awesome, and now I'm subscribed to you, and you're like, oh shit, like thank you. And yeah, it's great, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. I completely agree. Dude, I was going to say something about something you say, and I got distracted with a comment.
Oh, I thought
Motherfucker, and it was really important.
okay. Oh man. All right. Well, before you can think about that, I will ask you one more question as sort of the final question, and I ask everybody this. And I think you've kind of provided a bit of insight, but we'll get your full take. What advice would you have to give to somebody looking to start out on YouTube or content creation to help them on their journey?
I think I am going to give the most basic bitch advice, but it is because it is true, and it is just do it, man. Just start. As I said earlier, when you asked me how I decided to start YouTube, what did I told you I decided to create the channel around 2016, and I didn't start it until 2023 or something like that, 2022. That is my biggest regret, man. I regret every day not starting earlier. Like, I would be bigger. I would have more videos, more people, more subscribers. Maybe I would already be living off of this if I had started earlier. So I always regret postponing it so much. So don't think that everything needs to be perfect, that no, I have to have the perfect mic and the perfect cam and the perfect setup, or I don't have enough time, or I will start when this happens and when that happens. Nothing is never going to be perfect. Just start, go, and then you will figure it out on the go.
Yeah, I love that. And despite that being something that is echoed throughout like our content creator community, where it's like just do it, like it is hard. Could you maybe talk about sort of like, as a final note, like was there anything that happened or like inspired you to like that day on like a couple years ago actually put the video on the channel and not just have like an empty channel? Like what was the catalyst for like actually getting you over that hump of like getting started basically?
Uh, I honestly always had in my mind every single day, dude, start the channel for years. Stop procrastinating, and I am playing Marvel Snap, and I am seeing these guys that are creating the channel today, and next week they already have 1,000 subs, which at that point was the monetization threshold. And I said, like, I am an idiot, I am a retard, I am not doing this, and I could be getting that they are getting. I am going to do it. Like that was a catalyst. Stop wasting your fucking time and just do it.
That's totally fair. Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of shit, like quitting smoking or like, exercising more or like eating better and stuff like that. It's always in your head, but it's always like you can think about it for so many days or months, weeks or months or years, but that is the hardest thing to do in life, is just like get started. And then once you get started, you realize like, oh, this isn't so bad. All of the anxiety, all of the shit in your head that you cook up for reasons why you're not going to do this today fly out the window, and you're like, oh, this is actually great. I'm feeling better because the weight is off my chest, and you're like improving in something new, and yeah, it just feels awesome. So totally agree. All right, man, at this point in time, we're just going to get you to shout yourself out. Where can we find you, and what are you going to be working on in the future?
So I have obviously the Yazarus channel where I upload videos about Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2. Sometimes I talk about something else, but honestly, I am fully focusing on Path of Exile. I also have a second channel called Yazarus Raw where I talk about random shit that has nothing to do with Path of Exile, and where I am going to probably piss you off with the stupid opinions. I also have a Discord where I am active all the time. You can join my Discord. It is in the link of my descriptions and my videos, and you can join in there and suggest videos, post, whatever to me, engage with my community. And also my stream. I multi-stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. You can follow my Twitch. You can subscribe to my YouTube. And for now, the plan is keep creating content, keep playing Path of Exile, creating videos, reacting to videos, talk about the stupid shit, have fun. And yes, that is the thing.
All
And
right.
thank you so much, Blaze, by the way, for inviting me. This is awesome.
Dude, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. As always, guys, the links to not only Jazzer's main channel, but second channel will also be in the YouTube description. I didn't know that existed. So that's super cool. Best of luck with everything, brother. And we will definitely have to have you back on for another podcast in the future. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all. Boom, we did the damn thing. Where's the Doriani story? Okay, this is the post podcast thing. First of all, how did you feel it went? I hope you enjoyed yourself, man.
It was awesome, brother. I have a lot of fun, dude. I had a lot of fun. I am sorry if sometimes I was very long-winded with no good enough payoff.
Bro, don't worry, man. Look, here's the thing. When I send off these lists of like talking points, it's just to be professional and have some sort of like structure to our conversation. But generally speaking, for every single episode, I don't get through all of them. But I always find that it's better to have like a lot of questions prepared and like talking points, rather than like having a few and then like running out of ideas and stuff. Not that we have struggled with that at all, but yeah, no, I think it went really well, man.
I think we could like, and I love it, by the way. I love that you send the questions. It is fucking awesome, dude. I love it. And also I think I told you that like you can see that when you were preparing the questions, you looked at my stuff, which is awesome, and I am very grateful for that. But I also think at the same time that we could just, if you say right now, hypothetical scenario, you say, let's record another episode right now, 1 hour, no script. We could jab for 1 hour, no problems, you know.
Oh, easily. I mean, that's the beauty of doing podcasts with streamers and content creators, is that like there's no issues chatting, especially when like video games are involved or anything really. So I'm never worried about it. But I think that what I try to do, and I think that you've obviously now experienced it, is like there's a format to the podcast that I think is familiar for people. So they know like no matter who is on the podcast, they're going to be asked like similar questions. Obviously, it's like tailored towards like, current events about Path of Exile and stuff like that as well. But I really like to prioritize like the learning about my guest and talking about their start and like all that kind of stuff, because that is like the difference between episode to episode, is like hearing those stories and those moments. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing all that, bro. It's cool to hear that.
Oh, brother, thank you so much for inviting me, because this is fun. I like it, dude. I think it is cool because as you can see, I like yapping. I like yapping a lot, and the podcast is the perfect environment to yap a lot.
Absolutely. All right. So what's your plan for the rest of the day?
My plan for the rest of the day is after this, finish uploading the video that I am going to upload today, and after that, I start working in like little under 2 hours. I start my shift. So,
oh shit. So did you end up getting up really early today just to be able to do this?
yes, I only slept like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh my god, dude. Well, thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it.
But hey, dude, you asked me for the moment, the scheduling, so it is on me, right? I told you let's do it at this time, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, I hope that you survive today. And yeah, we will talk soon, brother. I feel like maybe have a nap or something. I'm not sure, and get ready for the rest of the day.
I could probably, like, if I finish uploading the video in the next hour, I can still sleep for 1 hour or something like that.
Min max your time, brother. Upload, nap, go to work. Oh, that's great. Well, yeah, man. Thank you again, and we'll be in touch. All right.
By the way, some question that I forgot to ask you.
Oh yeah,
in the
ask
podcast,
away. Ask away.
or maybe you can edit this in for like, I don't know if you edit the thing, but you can edit it in. I have one thing in my community that we are discussing for 0.4. You know that I am a big druid guy. I am a big wolf guy. My icon for my channel is a wolf, right? So we are discussing the possibility of course, the druid having a wolf transformation. Are you pro four-legged wolf transformation, or are you for a werewolf transformation? What would you prefer?
Oh, I have to choose between either or. I feel like the best druid like ever done in ARPG is Diablo 2 by far. And I think what's cool about the werewolf form in Diablo 2 is that you do both. Like you are like a werewolf, but you get down on all fours and move around and shit like that. So I personally would like to see a hybrid. I don't think that it needs to be like a generic wolf form. I think that it needs to be like maybe a werewolf vibe, but then also in the animations you get down on all fours and you like jump and like pounce and use like kind of wolf style animations. But okay, so maybe my answer is werewolf, two-legged, but you also use your arms and get down on four legs and have that sort of wolf vibe.
Based as fuck. I do like your approach, and you are correct that the Diablo 2 werewolf is the best one. That fucking shit is
Yes.
and yes, I want something like that in Path of Exile 2. There is some footage of the werewolf in Path of Exile 2 being like the wolves that you found in Act 1 in Clearfield. So, and those are ugly motherfuckers. So I don't know. I hate that. But there was a discussion about this in my community because in a try video, Tolkari Try said that some of the developers were saying that they were finding difficulties animating the transformations for the druid because walking around and running around in all fours was hard to animate. And I said, well, motherfucker, then do a werewolf and a werewolf, and they are on two legs, and you don't have to worry about this. You are creating this problem for yourselves.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how much work that is, Jazzerus, because like as you know, skill gems aren't limited to one class. So like as soon as the druid comes out, every single character will be able to shapeshift into a wolf, into a fucking bear, into whatever the third form is. So imagine like having to animate every single character transforming into these fucking creatures and shit like that. Like it's exponentially more work than just doing one class's animations. But like, yeah, like initial M31 said in the chat, like, dude, if you're sprinting as a werewolf, it would how weird would it be if you're like running like this as a fucking werewolf? Like you should be getting all down on all fours and like
At
zooming.
that point, you have to go wolf style. Yeah. I completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah, that was what I was going to bring up because hey, I always do the wheel. But if the druid comes out, I will probably don't do the wheel and just play the druid because he is the class that I've been expecting the most.
Yeah. Oh, before you go, let me ask you one more question. Okay, so and I talked about this with Off Meta Michael, and now Hung Stepbro's bringing this up. Where like, what do you think right now in terms of the state of like class identity? And so what I mean by that is like, how unique does each class feel to each other, and how does each class look compared to each other? Personally, for me, I think that it's awful right now, and I feel like there are very few situations where like you really feel like the class you're playing. And I think that's just because obviously the flexibility with weapon skills, like you can use whatever weapon on any class. And so it's not like Diablo where like, the armor was matching your character and the weapon skills were set. Like what do you think about it all?
This is a hard one because some people want more class identity and some people don't want as much class identity because then that breaks the concept in Path of Exile of customizing everything and that everyone can do everything, right? My opinion right now is I do think the base classes are distinct enough for my liking, but the ascendancies are not distinct enough for my liking. I think that the ascendancies right now in PoE2 are like too generic. You don't feel like you are upgrading to this new thing when you ascend, which kind of sucks. And both in terms of balance power and also in terms of thematic thing. Like, yes, there are cool thematic things like the demon form for the Infernalist, for example, but not all classes have this. For example, the Ritualist, I like the Ritualist, it is cool in concept, but in practice, you don't feel the change. You are a huntress,
Yes.
So I think that when you ascend, you should feel like you are transforming into this new thing. and it will be cooler. But for the base class, when you are just a mercenary and you see how the mercenary speaks his lines and he has this distinct personality,
Best
that part
voice
I think is
lines.
cool.
Yeah, best
Yeah,
voice lines for
exactly.
sure. Yeah, no, I agree, man. Like, I hope that down the road, and I know that this isn't a priority for GGG. Like, obviously, the priority is like getting the content done and getting the other classes in and stuff like that. But I think it would be really cool if like there were visual cues to every ascendancy somehow, or a lot more of them. And then this is something that I talked with Ahmed and Michael about as well. Like, we love the idea of having different like dodge roll animations for each class. So like, the warrior has more of like a chunky moving out of the way, and like maybe the witch could like float more gracefully away or something like that. And like just having something, because if you're watching a streamer or someone playing the game, if you're a mercenary decked out in full armor gear with a shield and a mace, you could be, it doesn't matter, you look like a warrior, right? So it'd be cool, like if you're a gemling legionnaire, have some fucking gems like popping out. Like, if dude, gemling legionnaire werebear form, maybe the bear has like crystals and shit like coming out of its back. Like stuff like that I think goes a long way for me, and I'm just a
I
nerd.
understand what you are saying, and I support you. A lot of more work for GE,
It
but I
is.
understand what you are saying. It
Yeah.
is even harder to figure out what something is with all the MTX, because if someone is using one of the crazy armor MTX, you don't know what the fuck class they are playing unless they tell you, So I do agree with you that it would be cooler to have more class identity somehow.
Yeah,
That
maybe
I
this is my hot
know.
take that I didn't get to say, was I think that is like a thing that I would love to see, and I know it'd be like way more work and it would take away from their priorities, but I'm a fan of identity, especially because of Diablo 2. Like, there was such a strong class identity in that game, and I feel like it kind of gets lost in PoE 2.
Yeah, I agree. I also I like class identity. In fact, I talk about that all the time too. That I choose my builds. I don't like a weak build, obviously, but I prefer to choose a build based on coolness than on power. Like, if I think a build is lame in terms of aesthetic or theme, I don't care if it is the most powerful shit. I am not going to play it because I think it is lame, and I prefer to play something that is maybe less powerful, but that I think it is cool. So I think lightning arrow is boring. It's lame. Oh, I am an archer and I am shooting lightning. Look at me. That is boring. That is stupid. But if you are, I don't know, a dude that is slamming the quarter staff to the ground and a bunch of lightning explodes, that shit is fucking cool.
100%. Yeah. And like at the end of the day, you have to enjoy aesthetically and audibly as well, the build that you're playing, because you're going to be playing it for like hundreds of hours, right? So it's like, if you don't enjoy the feel of your skill or the look of your skill or the sound of your skill, like, you're not. And the thing is, PoE 2 does all of these things incredibly well, where everything looks fucking amazing, everything sounds, I just want to listen to like ASMR of people clearing maps all day, right? Like, it sounds great. So yeah, just a little bit more pushing in that direction. And listen, One Hit Wonder, I don't want to take away from the progress of them making the game. I just feel like down the road, when they finish everything, add in some identity, and I'll be a happy boy for sure.
Hey, dude, awesome, brother. Again, thank you for inviting me. I hope we can do it again in the future, even if it is not for an official podcast, was just hanging out or doing a collab or whatever. I am open for it. You can hit me up. We are cool. I love it, dude.
Let's do it. All right, man. Thank you so much. Hope you feel better and have a great day. And we will talk soon, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have fun with the league, and I hope you can
I'll see
come
you
up
on the
with
beach
a
on
video or
Friday,
whatever.
bro.
Yes, let's fucking go, dude. Hey, Blaze Chat, guys, thank you for hanging out too and chatting it up. Have a great day, dude.
Thanks, brother. All right, take care. Peace.
Peace.
All right, everybody, we did the damn thing. Yo, thank you, guys. If you were hanging out today in chat for the whole podcast, or if you hung out for a little bit and came back, or you just got here, thank you so much for chilling. I really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Jazzarus is hilarious. Love his takes, love his energy, love his vibe, and also love his story. Didn't really get to, I obviously learn a lot about these guests that I have while talking to them. So it was cool to hear his story, and basically how he was like, "Yo, Venezuela's fucked. Let me get the fuck out of there and try to make a bit of money to help me, like, elevate my life and shit with content." And yeah, that's cool. Nice one. Yo, what up, Drake? Glad you enjoyed that one, bro. No Doriani story? Ah, shit, dude. There's a lot of stories, man. Lime Dem, welcome in. I got here a bit late into the podcast. That's all right. The video will be up probably by tomorrow or the next day for you guys if you guys missed out on the live video. So, yo, Moonman, welcome in, dude. I saw your messaging in chat. Loved it. I'm glad to have you in. Always good to see you. Yeah, so I'm gonna end the YouTube stream and then, or maybe I'll just swap the YouTube stream over to just general mapping and stuff. You gaming today? Yeah, I'm gonna be gaming for a bit today for sure. Probably gaming for another like three hours or so. We're gonna be playing some more PoE1. So if you guys want to hang out and play some PoE1 with me and chill, we're gonna do that. Yeah, just give me one sec. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out on YouTube and on Twitch. Always appreciate the support on both platforms. So I'm going to end the stream on YouTube and then start up a new one. Are you doing your own build on League Start? No, dude, no. Oh, 50 bits from the lady herself. Thank you so much, darling. I haven't heard the Love Gold one for so long. I love gold. All right, so hold on. Let me end the YouTube stream and then we'll fire up a new one.